Oh, was I muted? I was muted the whole time. What the hell? Oh my god, no audio. Hey, what's up, Chief? All right, did I botch that opener? Sounds like it. All right, guys, what's going on? It's a Toy Kind of Mood, episode 7, and I'm here to talk about the fallout of the WCW Nitro stage, the Backlash, if you will. Of course, Backlash last night, hot pay-per-view over in Puerto Rico. We'll be reviewing that. And a special guest, Kyle Peterson. He'll be joining me in just a moment. But first, let's talk some good old housekeeping. Here we go. May the force be with you. If you had missed it, Mike Cass was our special guest. This was a very special May the 4th episode. It was terrific. I want to know what you guys did for May the 4th. Did you cop any Hasbro stuff? I wasn't able to join them. I was on set that day, but shout out to Bobby and KJ. They killed it. They crushed it. Mike's a phenomenal guest. Awesome Star Wars. Man, I'm a little shaken up, man. No ring. I'm not putting my audio on. I'm a mess. No Nitro stage. It's going to be that kind of show. One thing that has been keeping me happy all week, guys, right here, Jedi Survivor. Are you playing this game? It's unbelievable. Now that they've gotten past the performance issues, I'm not seeing it that much clipping, a little bit of crashing. Good thing is it does not destroy your game save, just brings you back to the checkpoint. So no issues there. Game is phenomenal. I don't know how many hours I played. I'm going to say a good 20, 30, maybe in the past week or so. I've been waking up like every morning at 6:30 and not to go to work, but to go to work on Coruscant and all the planets of Star Wars. But just an amazing game. And Cal Kestis is like our new Barbie Ken, if you will. Just dress him up, give him a mohawk, a mustache. He's wonderful. But I love the story. It's a great game. I won't spoil anything here, but I highly recommend it. It is 70 bones, but if you can fly it, don't wait. Just buy it. It's freaking great. All right, thanks. Appreciate you. The figure 6-pack. We good. We good. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. I think I had to take a leak. So I put it on mute. Those things happen on a funky Sunday. But hey, look, the big news of the week before that is gonna be this. And I'm really sorry, guys. It's just kind of messy. Kind of messy. It is believable. We did what we could. Mattel did what we could, but who better to talk about it than someone who created a great video explaining in very educated look at the fallout of the WCW Mattel crowdfund Nitro stage. But here's my special guest from the back, Kyle Peterson. What's
hello,
up, dude?
hello. I got my
Hello,
witness.
man.
I got
What's
my witness
happening?
protection glasses on here. I'm in the witness protection program after that video. A lot
Oh
of people
yeah,
coming
right.
for me.
What was your favorite comment from the video? I'm just gonna ask that right off the rip.
I don't know. There was a lot of crazy ones, and and I always say at the end of the day, it's just my opinion, but a lot of it is like studied opinion. I like to say, and
Yeah.
everybody can have their own opinion. But if you think that stage is $100 stage, I mean, what planet are you on? And that's just kind of the stuff that you get. But there was a lot of crazy comments and people just thinking, it's all about perceived value, and at the end of the day, you perceive it one way or the other, I guess. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, there it is, resting in peace. But before it does rest in peace, Kyle, are we gonna see an extension? What do you think comes out of this right away?
I yeah, I guess you never say never. I hope not. I wasn't a big fan of them reshuffling the tiers around and giving everybody Scott Steiner and Rey Mysterio at 5,000. I mean, that seems like a great idea. That is good. I think that helped a little
Mhm.
bit, but at the end of the
Yeah.
day, I think you got to have your best foot forward. Here is the plan, and
Mhm.
stick with the plan, because unfortunately, they said there was going to be no, because that was the question that came right off the bat when they announced this one. They said, hey, last time you threw in Macho Man, is there a possibility you're going to do that this time? Well, of course, Mattel's going to say no because they don't want to have to do that. And it kept coming back, people waiting. And Mattel said, we're not doing it. We're not going to add anything. Then they did. So the precedent's been there. I on my channel said, hey, Mattel's saying they're not going to do that. They wouldn't say that to their audience. They wouldn't want to mislead people. And then they did. And that was one of the big mistakes. I mean, I
Right.
liked it. Obviously, I would have got 2 figures instead of 1. That would have been great. But now I just worry if they do another crowdfunding, people are going to sit there and say, hey, guys, Just don't back it. Don't back it. Wait. Make them throw something in. They did it the last 2 times. And I think you're going to hear that all the time next time. It's going to be very annoying. Oh, everybody, don't back it. Don't back it. There's going to be people screaming, don't back it. Just wait. So we'll see. We'll see.
Exactly. All right. Now that we can sit back and calm down a little bit. I don't even know if I introduced myself because I turned the audio down so Kyle wouldn't hear me go to the bathroom. And then I started the show off with no audio. So in case you're watching this, Kyle, obviously, big time. I'm Travis Moody. We're a Toy Kind of Mood. This is a Toy Kind of Mood at night. And I'm going a little Bash of the Beach casual here. And you're a big WCW guy. I had to go full on horseman. There
you go.
Talks of WCW. And let's talk to some people in the crowd really quickly. And as I do that, Kyle, how's your Sunday rolling?
It's rolling on. I'm a little tired. I went to a Pro Wrestling Revolver show last night. So it was a late night at that show. And I got home very late. And then I watched Backlash after that. So I was up till about 3:30. And then I was up at 7 a.m. So I'm a little beat. You're
like coming home, just wanting to go to bed. And you're like, damn, I got that damn show tomorrow about Backlash. I got to get that in, you know?
I knew I had figure reviews to do today. So I said, I better stay up. So that's what I did.
All right, DJ 5H. Love the Whalen shirt.
There you go. Old Whalen, that outlaw.
There you go. It was a little blurry there. Okay. Wrestling figure news. Hey, what's up, Justin? How are you? People are out of their minds, especially in the wrestling toy collecting community. They are certainly out of their minds.
It's opinion. Everybody, you got people in there saying, well, this is the truth, what happened. There's no truth. It's opinion. It is opinion at the end of the day for the majority of these things. And a lot of people, one of the most common things, you get me started. But one of the things is, well, if they had a better figure selection, if they had different figure selection, well, I bet you there's people out there that didn't say anything that love the figure selection. If they would have switched the figure selection, well, I want to drop out. I didn't want those figures. So it goes both ways. So a lot of it's just opinion.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, let's see. I'm assuming this is sarcasm. No RoboCop or Kiss Demon, David Arquette, Nitro Glory. Yeah, that's obviously very funny. I think
Chef
that's a good mock.
He's a good Iron Maiden heavy metal brother, old Chef.
It's a lovely take of the community. Hey, my friend B's Battlegrounds, who himself is a great G.I. Joe classified reviewer, and he loves your review.
There we go. All hail Cobra.
Yeah. Shame it didn't fund. Yeah, it's always a shame when a crowdfund. And I think Steve has said this, and we've learned a lot about Mattel and Steve and all these. I think I've heard, he said he did over 20 podcast appearances and whatnot. And go ahead.
That is one of those things too. And I mentioned that in my fix that. There you go.
What the hell is going on?
I mentioned that in my video about Steve and those guys working hard, doing these podcasts, YouTube channels, after they're done with their day at work, and, all the negative comments to Steve and Bill and Robert. I feel bad for those guys because as much as people want to believe they're the be all end all of all the answers on this stuff, they're not. They still have bosses ahead of them they have to answer to. They have to answer to the WWE and so forth. So that's pretty tough. And just imagine going to your job every single day and working for, weeks off the clock at night and then getting screamed and yelled at by a fan base. It sucks because I know my day job, I get screamed and yelled at. I'm the kind of go-between between my company and another major company. And I get screamed at from both sides and yelled at. And I'm the middleman. And it sucks. And I know those guys have that kind of same problem. So I can definitely relate.
Yeah, at the very worst, we have just the best people running that. Whether this worked or not, some decisions we could go over it. I've already got other shows. You've got shows where we fantasy book the figures and we go about it, but just the passion. You know what I mean? Like you said, these are people, and in your video you said this, at 5 o'clock you can check out, go to the gym, go to the movies, and go to bed and go to work. They don't. Especially Steve and some of the other, and I know Bill, I had a beer with him during Mattel Toy Fair. He looked looked like he hadn't slept in a week. And that in the best way possible, because he's just working. I don't know what the hell is going on with my camera, but he's just busting his ass for us, just creating the best possible items. You know what I mean?
And there's so many toy brands that we enjoy or don't enjoy, depending who you are, that the people on the brand could really care less. It's a job. They're going to a job. It's not a passion. It's nothing more than that. So we are fortunate for that Mattel team to really be there. Really.
Does Kyle think they dropped the ball at WrestleMania with Cody? Yeah, let's go. We coming for you, Hulk Hogan.
My good friend of the channel, Cody Rhodes, as I always do say. I don't know. I guess we'll see how it plays out. It did feel, I was kind of thinking this morning after, or was it yesterday, whenever we saw the Mattel stage not get there, I kind of thought to myself, I was like, gosh, you went to WrestleMania, Cody didn't win, went there, saw that whole Nitro stage, saw all that didn't get funded. I was like, gosh, it kind of just feels like the air was taken out of some things a little bit.
It's Cody. That's why it's not clear, because I was showing you those action figures and look how clear it is there. I won't be clear, but the figures, I'll just do unboxings while you talk then. I can't even get these unboxings to be clear. And now look, what the hell? This camera's wacky, man. Anyway. All right, what's up? We got a good crowd in here. It's like, I love how my show starts off, there's like nobody, and then everybody just comes in like 30 minutes later. Wrong account. Oh, there you go. What up? Mitch, what's up? Heavy metal.
Another good heavy metal brother, old Mitch Wooten out there.
And Justin. Yep. Yeah, they're getting all the vitriol, and it's unfortunate, but pours are gonna pour. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not fair.
And the fan base has got to yell at somebody, and that's all that they don't know. And I don't know who the president of Mattel is. I don't know who the go-between between WWE and Mattel is. I mean, that's the people you really should be mad at, I guess, if anybody. But they're the face, and that's what you get as being the face, unfortunately.
Yeah, I won't be mad at them, because then I might not come back to Toy Fair. But all right, let's see what else we got going on. Look, this was the end game for us if we all just did our part, man. Look,
well, I think Steve put that together, or I forget who put that together, but there was a lot of clamoring on the internet that, gosh, we don't even have any WCW figures for this stage. Well, look right there. There's a ton, and there's a lot more than that, even.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Too bad. What a shame. But I mean, the key points is what do you think the number one thing is they could have done besides maybe, of course they set the precedent, right? That we're afraid of about now everyone's going to wait to the last minute, hope for a bonus figure. But just kind of your video kind of just covers it all, but like just to quickly, so we can move on to other things, but kind of like maybe a couple key points of like what could have really been done and what can be done if they bring back Raw or something,
I think they could have went maybe, it was basically they talked about it, kind of said, hey, it's coming. But let's talk about it for 2 weeks and then say it goes live on this day. Give it 2 weeks to build up, get the word out there, because basically it was announced and the clock was running, so you only had a month. So that hurt. And then not having all the ducks in a row, I felt like Rey Mysterio. Okay, what's Warrior's jacket going to be? What's Mysterio's jacket going to be? Not knowing what I'm paying $400 for. That was something. I think you should have all those ducks in a row. Here's what you're getting. Here's the box. I love what Steve did during the last couple of days. He said, do you want to get it Toy Biz inspired packaging, original San Francisco toy makers packaging? That should have been talked about long before that, I do feel. But
Hulk Hogan's video, DDP's post, like SmackDown. And I think the thing is they thought maybe they could get it done without any external help.
I think the 11,000 11,000 backers to get Warrior, I mean, they truly thought there was a chance at 11,000. I know when they first announced it, I honestly thought we might hit 7,000. I said, you're going into WrestleMania season. We're going into a busy time of year. It's tax return season. It's not San Diego Comic-Con where they did the last one. Then there's 1,000 things going on. I think the economy is a big, big deal, and the people's discretionary funds are not where they were even 6 months ago. And I hate talking my real world job because that's stressful enough, and I want to bring it into this fun stuff. But I could tell you, like private label bread, private label chips, that stuff is on the rise. I don't care if we're talking Walmart, private label, Target, Kroger, whatever it may be.
Yep.
People don't have the money for the name brands. If they don't have name brand money and they can't afford food, something you got to have, as much as we got to have that stage, we got to have something to eat a little bit more. And people can't afford that. Sales are down in grocery. Yep. It tells you all you need to know, I think, with discretional income for something like this, unfortunately. It's just bad timing.
Yeah, I would probably just steer clear of crowdfunding right now. And it was like, it might be a good one thing Steve said, and I listened to a million podcasts. Shout out to Wrestling Figure News too. He did a great job, Justin. But it was like, this is a learning. This is kind of new. Yeah, sure, they did the new gen ring, which is behind me, a new gen stage. But this is something new they can learn from. So maybe it's just we threw it out there during the middle of this awful time in inflation, and then maybe that kind of taught us something. And it's not like they made
But
5,000 of them and didn't sell it. They made two.
yep,
So,
that's why I always say constant
yeah,
learning, constant improvement in anything. In my stage breakdown video, I gave a little heartbreak disappointment of my business career where I had a new item that I thought was going to change the game, and the consumer said they didn't want it. And I think they're still wrong about that, but that's what happened. That's what happens. But it happens to the
yeah,
best of us, and I really do think, though, that was my biggest gripe last time. They launched it during San Diego Comic-Con. There's tons of stuff going on in San Diego Comic-Con for hardcore collectors dollars already, but then you throw on back to school time, people saving for that. You got summer vacation time. That's a bad time for money. Holidays, bad time for money. WrestleMania
it's
season,
always a bad time for money, though.
WrestleMania season, I think, is the best go because there's no other crowdfunders. Wrestling is on the buzz everywhere. They're all over the place. People are talking it because it's WrestleMania, and it's tax return season. So I think it's your best chance to get it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I think it really was the economy on a lot of things. Unfortunately, but
And
among
then, I mean,
others.
let's address the elephant in the room, and hopefully not this room. It seems like we got a nice crowd, but the toxic community. It's that, like you said, it's the same people wanting it to die because maybe they're in their late 20s, early 30s. They didn't watch WCW, or they just weren't a WCW fan. I was a WCW kid, man. I don't know about
Yep.
you, but I loved them both. But
Yep.
I woke up every morning at, I think it was 6 in the morning or 9 in the morning, to watch Main Event, which was all squash matches, and
Yeah.
Bobby Heenan and Shivani just, it was like Mike Awesome, not Mike Awesome, but like one of these Mike Perez versus like Virgil.
Yeah.
I was watching that stuff,
Me
man.
too.
But
I watch everything. I watch it all. Always have since I was started watching. I never took a dip out of wrestling. I've been watching it since I was 7 years old, something like that. And I've never
Yep,
stopped.
same.
But
Yeah,
you're exactly right. I mean, it is opinion, and I don't begrudge anybody to talk about like they don't like this. This isn't for me.
sure.
That's fine. You can say that if somebody says, "Yeah, it's just not for me. I don't like it because of this reason." But the segment of the fan base, and this goes for Hasbro, any of them. I mean, they're all out there, but that are rooting against it, posting daily. Don't back this. Don't back this.
Right.
That's the stuff that drives you nuts. It's like, why? I
Yeah.
mean, why stick that energy? Who's got time for that kind of stuff?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then just piggybacking off this comment,
Yeah.
yeah, we all armchair QB. We did a whole show which was hilarious and was fun. And I said, "Oh, they should include Halloween Havoc Eddie." And then what do you know? Like Turnbuckle Turbulence got the announcement a couple weeks ago. Not because of me. That obviously it takes several months to develop a figure, and not just because some blabbermouth online mentioned it. But here's the thing: we all wanted like Harlem Heat. Stevie Ray, I think his Legends deal expired in 2016. I think it was only for 5 years. I
We only
think,
got one
and he
figure.
didn't. Yeah, one figure and hardly any Harlem Heat merchandise. Drop the ball on that one. And then I don't know that for sure, but that I asked around, they're not answering me. So to me, that means he's not in a Legends deal. So you could do Booker T, but guess what? I can't say, and we don't know, but Booker, more than likely, some of these wrestlers are part of that WCW Monday Nitro, Walmart thing, right? So we don't know for sure, but like more than likely, if they're not in this crowd fund, they're probably coming into that set, right?
Yeah.
The way
Yeah.
like
If they're option, if they have the
like the
availability
Eddie.
of them, for sure.
Like
You know,
like the LWO Eddie would have been perfectly timed right now, right? But
yeah.
unfortunately, like when did LWO was probably not something they told Mattel ahead of time. Like he said, he needs to know, he likes the surprise of watching Backlash and seeing Savio Vega and Carlito come out. But if they tell him ahead of time, you might have the figure to match the time. That's kind of how the business works.
And I think, and I don't know if we'll ever get the full story. Mattel doesn't owe us an answer. I don't think they have to tell us. But
No.
they announced that Raw ring with Kane in like November, December, something like that. And it sounded like all eyes were pointed to the Raw stage. And then they figured out the cost of that Raw stage was going to be so much money that they had to pivot. So I don't think they had as many plans for the Nitro. So I just think maybe there was some pivoting there and stuff, and maybe they didn't get to put their best foot forward. I don't know.
Right. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying include the ring. The ring is part of the deal ringside. And here's the thing, what we know about is more than likely they might have gotten 5,000 if they can sell 50,000 Harlem Heat figures at Walmart and 12,000 rings at Ringside Collectibles or 15,000
Yeah,
rings. They're making more money with their retail partners than they would a crowdfund. So it's a hard that's the meetings they're
100%.
having, right? Because Steve even said this five, while he supports it, isn't his five. And I
Yeah.
don't want to speak for him. We can have him later on, another show, whatever. But I'm going by all the hundreds of hours of podcasting. I said, Steve, I'm no more podcasts. Take a month off. I've listened. I've had
You
too
know,
much. I love you, buddy. But yeah, go ahead.
you're exactly right. They're not going to put in that crowdfunder, and I'll just say, like, whatever the defining NWO Hulk Hogan is not going to be in a crowdfunder because they can sell 100,000 units at retail of that. They're not going to put it in a 5,000. That's just business 101. And that's what everybody forgets. It is a business. And one of the comments you get a lot is it is just abhorrent that Mattel would try to do a crowdfunding. They're $1 billion company. Well, I don't care if you're $1 billion company or a $10 company. At the end of the day, if you're a company and that is your job, you're not trying to break even. You're looking for that return on investment. You're trying to meet that minimum order quantity. You're not in this to lose money or break even. That is not the case. And that's what people forget. Like, oh, they should make it for $150. Well, why would they do that? Why would they lose money? It's not going to happen.
I told you this backstage. It was like this set, if you've seen it in person, and if you watched vehemently the videos that the Instagram reels that Steve and Metellus put up, this thing is humongous. Like if I had it behind me, it would take up the whole. It'd be a
Yeah.
cool thing. And what would have been nice is I gave Bill shit for this because I can't plug this bad boy in and leave it light. I one time I had it on the show and I had to keep turning it on. I'm not even gonna bother anymore. You can plug that one in and
Yeah.
it would have fit the whole frame right here. It is big, guys. And then there's even a picture with the new gen stage behind me with the Nitro stage as well alongside it, and it is 3 times the size. It is so
I mean,
big. And then there was a comment here. I think we already posted it, but let's see.
it's a definite.
Yeah, right
It's
here.
a showpiece for sure.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, they probably should have because a lot of people said I don't have room for it, and you can make room for it. But it was a little too late. They
Yeah,
in the last
and a
week.
lot of
Yeah,
people said, "Well, why would I pay all this money just to put half of it in my closet?" And I get that as well. And
yeah,
at the end of the day, I agree with a lot of the opinions. I mean, it's your opinion. I mean, everybody's got different opinions, and I get it. I have room for this to display it. Not everybody does. There's collectors out there that I'm sure have a wife and a kid, and they got a 2-bedroom house, whatever it may be, and you don't have room.
sure.
I don't know if my wife would let me stick it on the kitchen table permanently. Probably not. So,
Yeah. Here's a question. I love this. So this is not a question, but based on this, how would you compare this to the Engine of Vengeance? Because to me, I felt like no people wanted kind of like the original Ghost Riders. It's the what was it? The 50th anniversary of
yeah,
Ghost
so
Rider or something like that. And then we just get Robbie Reyes. So it's like the
it felt
newer, that he was on Agents of Shield, but then that had already passed a good 5 years now. So there was no really good media content. People don't read comics anymore. I mean, I do, and 3
yes.
other people do. But happy free comic book weekend. But no, but the thing is, I think I don't know, would you compare it to this? It kind of does have some similarities,
They
but a
all have
little,
similarities for sure, and I
yeah,
felt like the Hasbro maybe more so. I mean, you could make the case for both, but I felt like they didn't read the room, like you're saying a little bit on that, because
yeah,
you, when people think Ghost Rider, the average people, and you're trying to touch as the most people you can, we think of Ghost Rider, I think, the same way. We don't think Robbie Reyes first. We don't think that. And I think that was a big issue.
yeah.
And then I think it's not reading the room, and then, throwing Mephisto in there and stuff like that, where stuff people have wanted and almost making people buy a charger to get the Mephisto. I mean, it was just a tough one. It was a tough one.
Yeah, so that is reading the room because if you read posts, regardless of the toxicity level, it is you do have to, and even Major Podwin said this is like Hogan, Ultimate, and Warrior and Ray. I mean, those 3 figures were just kind of the target of this whole thing. Like people just didn't want them. You know what I mean? So, but like we said, the alternatives to that are guys not signed. You can't have Glacier
Yeah.
Raven
Nope.
whatever. And then the other ones are going to retail partners, like you said. So it kind of, I
The
feel like
hard thing,
Steve had his hands tied there.
it is tough, and you got to throw,
Yeah.
like, a guy like Warrior has a million looks, so he works for something like this. But it goes back to, you go Booker T.
Yeah.
I mean, Booker T has 5 looks, so you're gonna want most of those at retail. And I gotta tell you, I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Warrior fan. He's my favorite, so I love Warrior. I was happy to have him. I wish I would have got that Warrior. There's a lot of people that reach out to me that only collect Ultimate Warrior stuff that were buying this just because Ultimate Warrior was included. And I think anybody, there's probably Ray fans like that. Well, I don't want this, but I love Ray. I want everything Ray. I'm buying this. You take Ray out of that mix, they're no longer buying it. There you go.
Had to show this off, man. I shout out to my buddy KH. I'll say that. But yeah, it was good to get this grail. I haven't had it yet. And you're a big Warrior fan, so I had to show that one off, man. It
Okay.
was unbelievable. I fell to the floor when I was handed this. So
It's a
unreal.
beauty.
But last topic on this and we'll move on. We'll talk back a lot of wrestling news and Backlash as well. But how about this? Now what are you thinking about Raw's War? It's obviously without Nitro being able to fund this, this is beyond dead in the water. You might be lucky to see this at Mattel on a visit or a Comic-Con, but that is it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's any way. I mean, we go back once again, Steve and the boys might want to put it out there, but if they have to get signed off by their bosses and stuff, they'd say, I can just see, I put myself in their shoes. My boss would pat me on the back, put his arm around me and say, Kyle, you know how that last one turned out. We're not in the business to spend time and lose money. The fan base said they don't want a stage. Let's move on. And I think that's probably what'll probably happen. And yeah, there it goes.
Hey, Mikey, what's happening? What's up, guys? Enjoy both your content. A big Attitude Era Ruthless. I love seeing Ruthless Aggression getting so much credit. I went back and watched a lot of the pay-per-views, and some of them are, I mean, they're almost better than Attitude Era. Attitude Era had the big moments, but as a front-to-back card, you had better wrestling during the Ruthless Aggression era, in my opinion.
The hard thing about Ruthless Aggression, though, it was a downtime in wrestling fandom compared to the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah,
years.
I know.
And then you take the 30-year itch, people say nostalgia and stuff. We're right in the sweet spot for Nitro. We're not quite there for Ruthless Aggression yet.
Yeah.
I just, as much as I would love a fist, I don't think it would be anywhere close to funding like the Nitro one.
No, that's true. So Kyle had an idea of the changeable signage. And yeah, I heard this along the way from some other folks as well. I always thought it would be cool, but obviously we didn't get that because they're trying to sell you a Raw stage later. That was always the plan. So they're not going to give you both.
That wasn't my idea, but I did see that out there as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think that might have been My Damn Toys, maybe. But
yeah, I mean, there was talk early. Maybe you could reverse these around and oh, George Jones. There we go. Now we go. There you go.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, people didn't really have the motivation for WCW. Maybe if there was some kind of anniversary that WWE was celebrating about WCW, like you said, the 30-year anniversary, maybe of the Monday Night Wars or something. I don't know. Something.
It's tough. I mean, it's just no matter what, it's armchair quarterbacking. Somebody said that before. I mean, you can go a million different directions.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So we have one more question before we move on. Weather alerts. I love it. Do you guys think, since it didn't get funded, the crowd stage fund will sprinkle the figures into Elite? No, they are adamant about, I think, maybe
they said
5 to 10 years later, but not now. Yeah, it's going to be a while.
They said, like the Warrior, for example, you'll probably get that Warrior is what they told me, but you're never going to get it in the Ultimate set. So you might get a basic, you might get an Elite or something else, but it will never be that Ultimate version.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And then you'll and I think that's the problem too, is people, a lot of comments, the toxic stuff was, oh, we don't need this big power pump because we're going to get the chainmail. And then we don't need this DDP because we're going to get the jeans. And so they're kind of right, but it's like such a horrible reason not to fund the project too, or at least tell people not to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of, it's kind of bad that way. All right. What else we got on the agenda? All right. Backlash. Though we had the Backlash of the Nitro stage. And now we had Backlash, and I thought it overachieved. You stayed up very late watching it, so you may have a different opinion than me. But first up, just kind of overall thoughts, and we'll go match for match, and we're gonna do whiskey ratings, my friend. No, I'm just waiting for your overall thoughts on
Oh,
Backlash.
you want to know what I thought overall? I
Yeah,
thought it
just
was a
an
great show.
overall.
I tell you what, Puerto Rico crowd. I mean, I'm a guy that's watched wrestling for a lot of years. I've watched a lot of WWC and stuff like Puerto Rico stuff, Abdullah and Brody back in the day, things like that. So I knew how hot the crowd would be in Puerto Rico, and they didn't disappoint. I mean, the Puerto Rican crowd has always been hot for wrestling. I don't know when the last time they had a WWE event. I'm sure it's been quite some time. So I think they were jazzed up. They were ready to go. They were hot all night, and it's amazing. Like even the Bianca Belair Io Sky match, how into it the crowd was, like over the top into it, which made that match way more enjoyable than it would have been normally. I mean, they had the Io chants going on. I mean, the crowd brought the energy, that's for sure. And you don't get that in America. I don't know if America, I guess Puerto Rico is America, but you know, in the mainland, we'll call it. You don't get that excitement because maybe you're spoiled. We're spoiled, maybe. I don't know, but they were on their feet all night.
Yeah, the crowd was the crowd was absolutely the story, and I mean, I wish I was behind EO hardcore, and that's why it's a toy kind of mood at night. We can say things like that. So, all right. But look, first match. I'm just gonna go with this match first because it's a celebrity. It's Bad Bunny. The guy, like as Michael Cole said 17 times, he headlined Coachella both weekends. He's won Grammys. He's got 700,000 million quadrillion followers and everything. And you know, I never really even heard his music or anything, but I gotta say, when he came out in that entrance, like that with the crowd with the entrance, that felt like a soccer, you know, like a World Cup soccer game. I was into it, man.
I'd
It
never
was sick.
felt so old in my life and not knowing what the heck was going on. I said, "How old am I?" I feel like my dad watching something like this. Like, I don't know any of this song. I don't know any of his music career. I know him from wrestling. That's the craziest thing. I just felt immediately old.
Yeah, for sure. But it was pretty live. It was pretty
Oh yeah,
lively. You know what I mean? So that's at the very least. And all right, so that match, what did you think of, you know, seeing Savio Vega,
yeah.
Carlito, kind of LWO, all
I
the
think
kind of
you
yeah,
had to
what'd you
have
think
the
of the whole match?
shenanigans. Yeah, you had to have
Yeah.
the shenanigans in there. I mean, obviously, Bad Bunny isn't a real performer, whatever you want to call that. But
Right.
I loved it. I thought it made sense. I assumed we'd see Carlito somewhere along the way. I figured we'd probably see Sabio as well. Why
Mm,
wouldn't you get the pop out of them? The LWO, I think, is an awesome thing that they started at WrestleMania. I think that really gives Santos and those guys a lot more
yeah.
spot on the main roster. And I think working through that, obviously, it was a way better match than I think most people thought it would be. That is for sure. And you got to suspend disbelief because you would imagine Damian Priest would just eat Bad Bunny alive in real life. I mean, there's quite the difference there, but yeah, it was a great match for what it was for sure. And you had the
Yeah.
plunder and stuff. You got to have that stuff in a match like this. And yeah,
Yeah. So
I
now
think
we're
it
gonna
way
need
over delivered.
absolutely, we're gonna need like an ultimate hardcore Bad Bunny edition figure with all the kendo sticks and
I hope
all the
not. I think they will make a Bad Bunny figure.
chain.
I'm sure.
It comes with a die cast chain. But you know what though? He like I'll give it to him though. You know what I mean? Because he's also acted in some movies. He's not even the
Oh,
greatest
really?
actor either, but he the guy knows how to put on a show. And it was totally like he fit in with like ECW, kind of that whole thing. And it was a garbage match, quote unquote, if you will, and that's a compliment. He, you know, he went crazy and he told a good story. He took some good bumps. I mean, he took some
Yeah.
insane bumps. Actually, he jumped. He had a flying plancha out to the side. This is a guy that's worth $1 billion, right? He really is. And he's taken a plancha. He could break his neck. I mean, who knows what? He could bust his knee, and how is he going to perform, right? So it's amazing the effort that this guy puts in. We can't forget it. We can't forget that this guy is
Yeah.
worth so much, and he's getting hit in the head with sticks and garbage pails. You know?
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, that's for sure. I never
Yeah.
heard his backstory. Like, did he grow up watching Puerto Rican wrestling, or was he all about WWE, WWF? I don't
No.
know.
We're gonna need a Peacock special ASAP because I think a lot more people care now. I mean, before he went in there and did a code red or you know the a bunny destroyer or whatever, and that's how I think he almost finished the match that way. But um, you know, like now I think after this match in Puerto Rico, we're gonna need a documented story about him for the WWE audience that's like us old cronies that don't know about his music but are interested. Yeah, I think that's a great point. I'm very interested in his upbringing with wrestling. If
Yeah,
you can tie it in, I'd watch, a good half hour of that.
yeah, I would too. I'd a half hour I'd watch. Yeah, I'd check it out.
And there you go. I had to show these because, immediately the next day, the community that didn't want to pay $400 for a Nitro stage, they'll pay $400 for a Carlito
Yeah,
and a Savio
custom.
Vega figure. But it is what it is. But what do you think? What do you think about the possibilities with these two?
I don't know. Carlito, I don't know what happened. Was it WrestleMania during COVID or something, or Royal Rumble during COVID? He came back in the Rumble, I think it was, and looked really good, and then came back on Raw the next night, and then it just fizzled out for whatever reason. So I don't know. Maybe he'll get a second chance at life now. I'm not exactly sure. I think Savio probably a little bit over the hill. I don't think he would be in a back in a wrestling role, but Carlito's got one last run. And I talked to Carlito last summer, and man, he is. It's funny how times have changed in body sizes of wrestlers because back when
He's
Carlito was
Joe.
wrestling, Carlito looked like a little guy kind of back when he was wrestling. Now he's like one of the biggest dudes around. He's all jacked up and everything. So
Yoked.
that's kind of the changing of the guard a little.
He's yoked, and he hit that back cracker perfectly, and he had the
Yeah.
apple and everything. And Savio, yeah, Savio. No, but I meant as far as figures, how about like we gonna see maybe this has got
Well,
to be in the works.
I
Legends.
know Hastel Toys. Shout out to old Hastel Toys. He's got to be loving life after last night, as he has a Carlito figure coming out and a couple of different Savio Vega figures coming out. So he was
Perfect.
plugging away. I don't blame him. Strike while the iron's hot. So I think
Hell
he
yeah.
probably sold some extra units last night.
Absolutely awesome. Okay, so then, oh yeah, the Conquistadors. I saw this post. So I thought they were like they should have ran out. I'm like, are these guys even alive? But yeah,
They
it's
are.
like,
So there was a whole controversy about them a couple of weeks ago about wrestling figures. So
was there?
no, they
God,
finally got signed by KWK Collections. So
oh.
they got figures coming out 2024, I think. So we'll see. But yeah, it could have been Edge and Christian. It could have been anybody behind those masks. But I'm surprised they could have done something like that. Would have been kind of funny.
I'm looking at that now. Edge and Christian. I don't see it. All right, so while we're at it, this doesn't have to do with the match, but since we had LWO, I kind of figured out why not sprinkle some news in here while we're doing Backlash. This is a toy kind of mood after all. So Eddie Guerrero, you saw it in person at the WrestleMania Superstore, and with that shirt on, tank top, cut off shirt, it's great. But
Yep.
without it, it is Mr. Incredible Latino Heat version.
It looks like, I don't know if you remember this toy line from Jack's back in the day. They might even have had an Eddie Guerrero figure, but it was like a huge box body like that, and their head like flipped around or whatever. And that's what it looks like. It looks like you flip his head into his chest, and another head would come up like those old Power Ranger toys back in the day. But
oh my god!
with the shirt on, it looks amazing. With the shirt off,
Yeah.
Some of these ultimates, the body styles struggle, but when you put a little soft goods, it's good. But that's not even the right shirt, apparently, that Eddie wore during that time either, which is unfortunate.
Okay. Well, yeah, but if you wanted this look with this shirt, I mean, it does come with the Intercontinental title, hands,
World title,
and
yeah.
what was that? World title? Sorry,
Yeah, world, yeah.
It was when he beat Brock.
Yep.
And then the face sculpts are perfect.
I
His
always
face
liked
sculpts
all
have
of
been
them.
hit and miss.
Yep.
So, I'm happy with this release because I'm not taking off that shirt anyway. So I'm good with it. But they did address that you're never going to see this torso again. They understand it's too late. It's already, we're going to probably see it in a month or two in the store.
And
So
they already
yeah.
announced Eddie Guerrero for the Monday Nitro line or the Monday Night line, and I guarantee it'll have the fixed torso. And I guarantee there'll be people swapping the torsos when that one comes out.
Yeah.
And all will be right in the world.
Exactly. All right, what do we got here? Give me the Legends version of Savio Vega.
Probably Eddie that came out not too long ago.
Oh, Eddie. Okay. Oh no, that one was great. Yeah, I got that tacked on my wall. I don't want to unbox it. That's that's the body that Walter said he wanted for his figure. Hey, great review of Gunther. I watched that today, so should be getting mine pretty soon. All right, what else we got? Now this Ray. What's funny is when they first went up on Walmart, and of course they sold out. You're never going to get them, so they're never going to ship it. So just they're NFTs at this point anyway.
Yeah.
But check it out. So the Ray, when they first showed it, we knew it came with other stuff, but they just showed on Walmart, they just showed Ray, and it looked like the worst Ultimate Edition ever with
100%.
like one head sculpt and nothing. But now that we see the new images on the left, thanks to Mattel. Man, this is an incredible entrance gear, the Aztec.
One of the best. And there was a Jax version of that that's amazing. And then they did one from Mattel in the entrance crate line 10 years ago, maybe something like that.
Mhm.
And that is an
Yeah.
amazing figure. And I did a top 10 Rey Mysterio figures of all time on my channel. And I might even put that at #1 because that's awesome. And it
Ooh,
looks like all
okay.
new tooling and everything else. So very good figure. I can't wait for this one.
All right. Well, I had 12 hours of Kyle yesterday. Why not 13? No. All right. So what else we got? Oh, all right. So back to Backlash. There was a comment in here. Here we go. EO breast big day. Yeah, exactly. I love that. Io Shirai. Okay, just one of the greatest female wrestlers
Yeah.
in the world. Overseas in Japan. But you come to WWE. Yeah, it's hit or miss, and she's been kind of in the middle, which is
Yeah.
nice. She's not been buried and not been. She was kind of did really good in NXT, but I
Yeah.
think now's her time. I think they've seeing her value now with Triple H, who's more into. He doesn't care if you're 5'3" or 7 feet. He's gonna use you if he needs you, and I think he appreciated her efforts last night.
Yeah, she's very underrated. And you're right. She hasn't been buried. She just hasn't been excelled. She's just kind of been there, putting on good matches, and just kind of in the
Yep.
middle, which is good. I mean, you don't want to be buried, that's for sure. But she owned NXT for like a year plus at the time. And
Yes.
I remember I went to Survivor Series, and I think it was 2019 in Chicago, and that's where she did the huge moonsault off top of the cage. I mean, she made a lot of
That's right.
believers that
Oh,
night for sure.
that was insane. So yeah, good on her. Great match. And Bianca is wow, she's working her way to the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, with
Yeah.
matches like she's always in that kind of like on a pay-per-view, you're gonna get a 4-star match. If you see her on Raw, it's kind of you get what you get, but I mean on a pay-per-view, she's there, and what's great is she can call audibles. So she's the
Yeah.
baby face. She's who they want to be the baby face as a company. But in the match, if she's not getting the crowd behind her, she'll work heel and she'll do what she feels is right for the match. And I think she didn't really work heel, but she just kind of let EO get the shine. And I thought that she deserves as much as applause for that too.
Yeah. Because if you take that step back, I think
Yeah.
everybody that knows, you knew she wasn't going to lose the title. We knew that, but
Yeah.
EO did such a good job, and she did such a good job helping EO. Where there was a couple of times I thought actually it was going to change. Which, boy, you
Mhm.
can't get better than that.
Yeah, and that's a great tale. I think tonight the losers were winners. If we really look at that, and that kind of booking doesn't usually happen in WWE.
Yeah,
We're seeing some kind of different booking where people are being elevated in the loss. And that's something that's all tried and true in wrestling, and we haven't gotten that in a long time. So actually, I forgot to ask you, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest, how many whiskeys out of 5 do you give it? And you can give
no, geez,
0.25, 0.5, like a Dave Meltzer star scale,
yeah.
but with whiskeys.
I guess I never thought about that. For what it was, I think I'll give it a low 4 out of 5. But if there was no Carlito and no Savio, I'd probably put it about a 3. So
Okay.
it's
All right.
somewhere in there. It was all
Um,
right. I mean,
yeah.
it was what I expected it to be for the most part, but the surprises really added to it. And then Bad Bunny took a little bit more punishment than I thought he would. So I'll give it a
Yeah.
4.
Um, I'm gonna say between because I'm gonna rate it as more of like an entertainment, kind of like a PLE, kind of like did it put on a good show? Did they make any? And I didn't, for a match that had a celebrity who wrestles once or twice a year. Damian Priest was super elevated in this match. He's like a big time star now, in my opinion. I mean, at least he's on his way to be. He's kind of on the right way, and getting put in this match, he owned that. He just owned the presence in the ring, being the heel, worked great with Bad Bunny for the kind of like a WWE hardcore match. I think I'll go 4.25 plus, just because just the crowd, the entrance, they had the special guests come in and everything. I just think that's the kind of match you want. It's not like they're gonna work some kind of AEW match or something like that. So I
Yeah.
thought for what they set out to do, it was perfect for what they set out to do. So yeah, I'll go 4.25. And then for this match, what do you think?
I'm going to probably go I'm going to go a 4 as well, and the crowd really helped this one for me because I think if the crowd wasn't there, I would have just kind of been casually watching it, looking at my phone or editing a video while I did it. But with the crowd being so into it, so vocal, it really carried everybody, even through TV, into it. So I'm going to go a low 4 as well on that one.
Nice. And I'm gonna go, yeah, I think they worked a great match. The crowd definitely helps. Crowd's a part of wrestling. You know, if there's kind of sitting on their knees, you don't get that energy. I'm gonna go 4.25 as well for a different type of different reason. It was just a great wrestling match with great spots, and Bianca, like I said, kind of being able to work with her in any which way she needed to kind of get around. And yeah, had a great finish and everything. It was a hot match to start the show. Yeah, I loved it. So and everyone thinks I only like AEW, so I'm just gonna give high ratings to all WWE matches from now on. So that's just the way that's just the way it is. All right, let's check in with some people real quick before we move on. Yo Shirai was on Lucha Underground with Kyrie, my baby, and the Black Lotus team took on Penta. Yeah, she is absolutely incredible. Hey, David Allen, what's happening, man? Yo, Joe. Hey, Travis, haven't been a modern wrestling fan. I'm more of a classic fan. Wanted to give you a shout of support. Well, we did talk about classic wrestling for 33 minutes, but you joined us 15 minutes too late. We talked about WCW for a while. As soon as we're done Backlash, we're going back to 90s wrestling. So if you want to come back in about...
It's funny, 30... I think a lot of people don't think of Monday Nitro as classic. Oh, that's not the 80s and before is classic.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But I guess that shows our age, too, when we're thinking Nitro's classic. All right, is this a question for you?
I know the answer on this one that I want. I talked about this a few weeks ago, but I would love, I mean, I'm guessing Zombie has the rights to the same people he has in the retro line for this elite style line. I would love to see a one-man gang. One-man gang is one of my all-time favorites. I love the one-man gang. We know he's making it in the retro. Let's make him in the elite line. Same thing. The other one, this is a no-brainer, slam dunk, and I'm sure Zombie's already got it in the pipeline. The Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors. He's making them down there in retro. Why would you not? So many people do not have the elite ones. Be a slam dunk. There's a lot of good ones. Dino Bravo's another one I would love to see. We've never had a Dino Bravo. We didn't have it in Classic Superstars. It's a beautiful time to be a wrestling figure collector right now because there's a lot of stuff. The only problem I find with the Zombie Sailor stuff is you got to wait 100 years to get the stuff. You got to wait a year plus, and that's just... I think of everybody that could be made, and I'm like, gosh, I'm going to be, 65 years old by the time they're all out. So
we're going to be 65 years old by the time we get another stage from Mattel too. So at this point, so this is like the Dark Side of the Ring line. I'm looking at it. Pillman, I don't have the images prepared. We weren't going to really talk about this, but Pillman's my all-time favorite. But the face sculpt to me, maybe it's the hair because it's slicked back. But I went back and watched the Monday Night Wars, and they showed when he pulled the gun on Stone Cold, and the hair was still frizzy, man. So I don't know.
So Zombie talked about that, and he said basically that's ECW Brian Pillman before his accident. But then he put the gun with it, which is WWE time frame. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how it looks in person.
Yeah, exactly. But it is Pillman, so it's gonna be hard for me to say no. Here's a quick question: how much are the Road Warrior Elites worth, either blue or red pads? How much? If you were just to take a guess without looking on eBay or anything.
I saw a set of somebody was selling $210, and he said that was below eBay on 2 loose Hawk and Animal Legends in the black NWA gear.
So what was the price again on the 2?
210 loose.
As a tandem.
For both.
That ain't too. Oh, both. Okay. Because I have a buddy who is selling off his collection, and I am missing Road Warriors, my all-time favorite team. And part of me wants to pay some of those premium prices to him because he needs, his family needs the money. And he's in this situation. I don't want to put his info on blast out there or anything like that, his personal things. But I want to see what I'm in for. I'm going to his house tomorrow, but I wanted to go. I'm going to do some research tonight. I want to, at the same time, not go broke myself with the transaction, but also help out a brother and get a grail in the meantime. So,
yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the black shoulder pads and the red shoulder pads, I mean, I think loose $400 is probably right in the ballpark for the 4 of them, 100 each.
The blue one?
No, the blue are cheaper. Those are basics.
Oh, those are basics. Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, I may not pay $400. That's probably not going to happen. All right, what else we got going on? Next match. Oh, that was just an awesome. As you can see, yeah, she is holding onto her shoulder, but it still looks very cool.
Yeah,
A lot of
because
people
she
won't
hurt
even
her
notice
arm.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know. Like, she hurt her arm. Why are you doing that move if your arm hurts so bad? That's kind of what I thought when I saw that. Why would you even attempt it? But who knows?
she's a show woman. So there you
That's
go.
right.
All right, so this match overachieved in my opinion. Definitely the best thing we've ever gotten from Omos, but that's because he's with arguably the best worker in the WWE. So Iowa zone, your home
That's right.
state.
Right down the road. A lot of history with Seth Rollins over the years when he was first starting out. So
Yep.
yeah, it was quite the match. I mean, I don't think it wasn't Steamboat Flair or Flair Funk for me, but it was what it was. I love big men wrestlers, the Giant Gonzalez's of the world and Omos's. I got no problem with it. I know they're going to be limited. I know what I'm getting with it.
Yeah.
It was the best. Like I think you said it just a second ago. It was probably the best match Omos has ever had, and I think we know why. Seth Rollins helped carry that. I mean, I wouldn't say it was as good as the other matches we talked about. So I'll just put it in the 2 out of 5 or something. It was definitely more than
Yeah.
passable.
Yeah. I would if Omos with anybody else, it's like a 1 out of 5 automatically because it's Omos, but I'd give it a 3. 3, maybe just because the crowd 3 1/4. It would be the worst 3 1/4 match of all time, but for what it was,
I
Seth
just
Rollins amazing.
I
So
just don't know what do you do with a guy like Omos. I mean, they always say you got to keep those giants special. Don't have them on TV all the time. Don't have them wrestle all the time because they are limited and they're
yep.
massive. So they feel like they should be destroying everybody. Well, he's lost about every match he's been in. I don't know what you do with him going forward. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You have him on AEW against Shaq since
There you go.
on TNT. There you go. All right, next up we got the United States triple threat match, and this was pretty good. Man, they got some good talents in there, and Bronson Reed is like
Yeah.
the new Bam Bam Bigelow. And
Oh,
man,
I
I
love it.
I thought the commentary was actually amazing in this. It's Michael Cole and Corey Graves, I think, but they were really selling all the high spots in this. They really were like, kind of going Jim Ross on this, and they really put all these guys over, and they really made it exciting. But your take?
Bronson, I love Bronson. I've been a fan for a long time. I was actually at
Yep.
the Raw where he returned. I think it was in December, and he came out of the crowd right over by me. So I was happy to see him return. That finisher, that tsunami splash off the top rope, is just breathtaking to see. I mean, it's just awesome. So I'm a
Yeah.
big fan of Bronson. I hope he goes somewhere, and he's kind of like Omos in ways because he's such a big dude. Like, where do you go with him? What's he gonna do?
But he's got the agility and he can
Yeah,
wrestle and he can, he worked the indie sir. He's little different than Omos in
he
that. I
does.
mean, yeah,
Oh
they get
yeah,
the size, but I
but
think,
you
yeah, I
feel like
understand where
he
you're coming from. Good.
Yeah, I don't.
Sorry.
I hate to see him get bounced around by Austin Theory though on stuff like
Yeah.
I don't know, but and then Lashley feels like kind of a boat on the ocean kind of. Where's he gonna go? I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah. I thought this was a fair match.
Yeah,
Everyone looked good. It's the, you don't want to change it yet. I'm glad they're not just flip flopping titles. I go 3.5 whiskeys.
yeah, I was gonna be right
Three.
at 3.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. And here's of course, Puerto Rico's own Zelina Vega. She came out to a tremendous, people already want a defining moment, Zelina Vega, because this was her defining
It
moment.
was.
She had the duds on, with the Puerto Rican flag garment. She looks beautiful as always. Of course, lucky Malachi Black, that bastard. But yeah, she looked great, and she looked great in the ring. I mean, a lot of it has to do with Rhea Ripley. She's at the top of the game, but she did her thing. I mean, I think they did definitely cut the time because they didn't want to expose maybe her weaknesses, and I think it went the right pacing.
Yeah.
They were just there. She was there for the crowd, the
Yep.
emotion. Take it in. It's her moment, her defining moment. But then the match, as long as it was good,
Yeah.
that's all we needed.
Because you
Yep.
can't really say she earned a title shot. She's barely wrestled at all the last year or
Right.
so. So I mean,
Right.
but yeah, it was all
Exactly.
about that moment and popping the crowd and all that, which it was what it needed to be.
Yep. So the funny thing about Jonah Rock was I go to PWG, luckily here in LA, and he was in PWG for a while, and he was just kind of a guy in PWG, and then he went to NXT, and man, the matches with Gargano and the cage matches and all that. I mean, he really blew up good for him. He busted his ass. He fits right in with what they're doing in WWE and of course NXT, and he's a great addition to what they're doing. So it's good to see a guy that's not an indie darling do great on the next level, because usually it's the other way around. We get those guys that are super, indie guys, and then they get, they just get lost in the shuffle in the major. So he's kind of the opposite there.
Yep.
All right. Travis, do you think Austin Theory has what it takes to be the next Randy Orton? You know what? Last night when they were like, he did a blockbuster, I was like, oh, he's the next Buff Bagwell. And that's not a bad thing. Buff Bagwell had a pretty solid career. I mean, it kind of ended on a bad note, but I mean, he did his thing for a while. It's not wrong with being a Buff Bagwell TV US champ and having a good long run. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's Randy Orton though, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of. I think people think because he's gone so far as he has already, and he's so young, so he's got the comparability to Orton. But yeah, it's a long.
Yeah.
He's got a long way to go and a short time to get there, I guess.
Went to Stinger school? Is that like a Sting college? Like actual Sting the wrestler? What is Stinger school? I don't know. Help me out
Something in
there.
the Army.
Okay, maybe. All right. So this match, what do you got for whiskeys?
I guess I'll give it a 3, and that's because of the crowd and the moment, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It was no Matt
Yeah.
Classic or anything like that, but it was cool to see the crowd go nuts.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a 3 match, and then you add the stuff. I'll probably give it 3.25 for all the they did everything right by her and everything. So yeah, it was a good match. All right, this was super, but I felt like it kind of got lost. It's probably the dark horse match of the night because you got a lot of super workers here, but it's not quite Bad Bunny and it's not quite the main event. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, we have a 6-man tag, but these guys, they know how to work.
I'm going to be out on this one. This is the only time where it was late. Remember I said I watched this really late? I dozed off like during the entrances. That's all I remember is the entrance, and then I remember the very end when the good guys won. So I missed the whole match, and I never went back to see it. So
yeah, he's a strong, I would say it's akin to the triple threat match, like a strong 3.5. Like this could be a great main event on SmackDown. Like this is the kind of main event on TV that you talk about the next day and you're like, hey, did you see that match? Because on Raw and SmackDown, you hardly ever get a 4-star match, never mind a 3.5. So I'd say it's kind of like just a good match. It's not overbooked because they're all there. So you don't really have the interference because the bloodline's already there. A million super kicks, which is funny because WWE's like, oh, the Young Bucks, all they do is it's all they do is super kicks, but the Usos, that's all they did. But yeah, good match, and it built up Solo. They're really pushing.
That's what I was wondering. Did they push Solo pretty hard, and did they say anything about Solo turning or anything? Like they threatened him turning on him?
He almost beat the hell out of Jay Uso a couple times, and then he's instead of being in the background, he's kind of now, I think he's Roman Reigns like here apparent now. It's kind of like when Roman's on vacation, he's the boss kind of. I think that's the story we're getting. And then of course he's like, oh, you're our little cousin, you're the NXT. They think that's the story we're getting here. So they just keep on with this bloodline story. It's never going to end. I think we'll probably just get the bloodline story till they all retire. Why not? Long-term booking, brother.
Until their kids are running, then they'll bring them into it. It'll just continue on.
It is the bloodline,
after
all. So yeah, and then of course we had these figures go up on Ringside Collectibles, and they have the tag teams. So maybe that's why some of those requested tag teams you wanted in the Nitro stage are not part of the crowdfund because they have exclusive rights to the tag team sets. Now they didn't show pictures of the packaging, but they do come with a shipper. So they are separate ultimate packagings, but they do have a shipper with it. And I'm very interested to see how the shipper looks.
Yeah, I'm guessing it'll be kind of like that Cody, that new Cody that just came out shipper. It'll be something like that, I'm sure. But I think it's good. I remember when I was at Mattel, I talked to John from Ringside about this. Like, man, this is quite the get for you right now. And you just look at his face. He's just seeing the dollar signs like, oh, this is the perfect exclusive for me.
Nice. And that's a good segue just to let people know that you've got the Comic-Con Cody Ultimate Edition, and there's a review right on Kyle Peterson, right on YouTube. Good review as always, so go check that out after we're done. And Headbangers in the news. Yeah, you want to take on this? You want to take this on?
You know, what's funny is like I'm a huge metalhead, and I've been a metalhead since I was a little kid. Like I love all metal, the deep cut metal. I'm a big new wave British heavy metal, thrash metal fan. But for whatever reason, being a huge metal fan in high school when the Headbangers were kind of around in junior high, they didn't really connect with me too much. But I am very excited for these Headbangers. It's one of those things like I didn't really care for them a whole lot at the time, but then they're gone. You kind of forget about them. Now I'm like, you know, those would look really good in Elite. So I'm all in. It'll be interesting. Of course, we'll get skirts for them, but I don't know what they'll do for shirts. They're not going to be able to have a Marilyn Manson shirt on an Elite, but I'm ready for some new blood in some of these Elite lines and Legends lines. And
right.
There's still stuff with the guys they have now, but it's always fun to get some of these new characters that have been around into the line. So it sounds like these guys will be coming probably in 2024.
Absolutely. Can't argue against that. I was never the biggest Headbanger guy. Went along with it. Never hated them. Never
they were
loved
kind of
them.
like the
But there was
Bushwhackers. They were to me like the Bushwhackers. I don't hate the Bushwhackers. They weren't my favorite tag team. They were there. It was there. I watched them. The Headbangers kind of had that same kind of thing going on.
Here we go. We got a question here. Double sip on your drink when this is super kick. And we have a question here. Ultimate Edition figures should come with mushroom peg on the ankle hinge for ankle rotation, Kyle.
You know, I think the Ultimates, I had one just here, they got a little bit better articulation. I guess this Andre the Giant one doesn't count too well, but they got a little bit more better articulation on the feet on the Ultimates than the Elites. That is my biggest gripe with the Elite figures. They're giving us some more bells and whistles, but man, fix those ankles. They're just fused a lot of times. But that is my biggest gripe. You know, the Ultimates now have that drop down hip. And that just, I'm not a big drop down hip guy. And I guess we could talk about that. You love the Joes. How do you feel about the drop down hips on the G.I. Joe classified figures?
Oh, well, I think you need them in the G.I. Joe classified because of the, kind of the angles you got to take out in the war zone when you're reaching down behind the barracks and the sandbags, and you got to stretch those legs down and kind of do those really weird poses that military do. But for wrestling,
well, I mean, they say for sitting a character down in a chair, they can sit more naturally with the drop down hips. You can do the big boot, like the big Hulk Hogan boot now can be done perfectly. But I just feel like I don't have anything against drop down hips. I just feel like the technology, there's something missing. Like it could be better in the G.I. Joe line and the Mattel line. Because I hear a lot of people having breakage there, and I get it that it's probably a little bit weaker there because of the little bar, but I don't know. It doesn't feel as good to me, and it gets in the way a lot of times. I'm not totally sold. I don't know. I'm not an engineer, but I feel like there's a way they could somehow do it and make it be a little bit smoother articulation in wrestling and G.I. Joe. I don't know.
Could be the next evolution of the Ultimates. They're always asking about that. We had a question, when we had Hasbro on, what's the next evolution, because they don't even mess with soft goods yet, so unless they do like a Supreme Serpentor or something, you get like a Cobra Commander when we got the capes. Other than that, we haven't done it. So it's interesting to see because now you got Supreme, Ultimate, Deluxe. Where do we go from here? And it's up to people like us to give them feedback, and hopefully they listen.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got going on here? Oh yeah, okay. So the main event, we can't go away with Backlash without talking main event. And I got Cody here, 101. He's in stores right now. And man, a lot of people are having problems with that tattoo because, as you can see, and you can see it in Kyle's review and some other reviews, man, he's got the tattoos coming right up on the neck and the head. So yeah, it's like
technically that is correct where it is, I guess. I think that's what Mattel said and other people have said. But even if it is correct,
now
just
look,
I
now
say
that's a problem.
Bring it down just a hair. I don't think anybody would complain at that. I'd say bring it down.
Yeah, because now look, once you turn it,
it's like the Andre the Giant Ultimate here. You got the same issue kind of thing with his singlet. You turn his body just a little bit, and you get the same issue.
Yeah, let me get you.
Oh yeah. See, I mean, you turn that singlet, and bam, look at that.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's a problem. But all right, so we got Cody and Brock. your thoughts on the main event. Did you wake up and watch it at least since
I
you fell
did,
asleep?
yeah. I stayed up for the rest, and yeah. But I thought it reminded me a heck of a lot of, and I can't remember what pay per view was it, SummerSlam or whatever it was, but it was Cena versus Lesnar, where Cena took 1,000,000 suplexes. I mean, it kind of had a lot of that feeling going on. It was kind of Brock paint by numbers in a lot of way.
Well, I'll jump in right there just
Yeah,
because I'll say he did 3 Germans, and I was like, "Oh," because the match started off so good, and I was, right when they had that perfect camera angle on Brock, kind of all cocky, and he got an awesome tope on Brock, and Cody just was relentless. He wouldn't stop, and this is the Cody you want, right? Like, he's the fighting baby face, he's the worker, he's kind of the new John Cena, right? He's just working, and Brock's doing his thing. He gets him in 3 Germans. And I'm like, here we go. He's gonna ruin the match. But then he did the meanest snap suplex
yeah.
I've seen in a long time. A big man doing a snap suplex. I think he just meant to do a regular suplex, but he really fucked him up.
He was
And
giving
then
me Dr. Death, Steve Williams, All Japan Pro Wrestling vibes is what he was giving me throughout the match.
yeah, it was great. And then he did another, regular suplex or snap suplex.
Yeah,
And then he started to switch it up a little bit instead of just doing German. So while he did kind of just repeatedly
yeah,
do moves, he did switch it up. And one thing
yeah,
about Brock when he's wrestled Daniel Bryan, aka Bryan Danielson, Finn Balor, AJ Styles, when he's had these matches against guys half his size who can work, he starts to care more. Where unless he's like when he goes against a Roman or a let's
Omos.
see, Omos or some of these other big guys, he'll just do the one move all match and not give a shit. But when he goes against these little guys, he's like, I used to be that, he was always the same size, but he used to really have a great move set. He starts to bring back some of the other moves, and he kind of did this in this one after a while, but I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was good, and I love to see the blood. I mean, that's one thing I love being a kid from the '80s, watching old school tapes of NWA and stuff like that. So the blood there, somebody said it was a hard way blood. He did it on, he got it the old fashioned way, is what they were saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
This was a good one, but you know what, man? I got some friends that just joined me late night, so I want to just say hello. What do we got now? All right, let's address this right here. You don't need drop down hip if it's designed correctly. The Marvel Legends modular Iron Man, yeah, I got that one. Hip design is a perfect example of not needing a drop down hip for a fully function articulation. All right, I'll have to go back and grab that one and check it out. And didn't notice that it didn't need a drop down hip. But Pack Photos, what's up, man? How you doing, man? We got a couple of good Monday night. Speaking of Monday Night Raw, we got some Monday night streamers in here. We got Pac Photos and we got my man Punk with Toys. Am I doing the show on Sundays now? I guess I am. But we did do the Ozer ringside Bill McKenna interview on a Friday night. So we a toy kind of mood I just do whenever I want. A toy kind of mood at night will be any night on the weekend that I feel like doing it. And then a toy kind of mood will always be on Wednesday at 6. And then until we lie about it and do it another night. So at least Cody didn't have to share the ring with a rubber chicken this time. Cody living the John Cena storyline from 2012. That was a hell of a match. Yeah, it was pretty good. I'll go I thought they told a good story. I'll go 4 whiskeys on this.
that's what I was going to go for as well.
All right, cool. Overall whiskey ratings for Kyle Peterson of Backlash. What you thinking, champ?
I'm gonna say 4.
Yep.
It was way better than I expected it to be, and that crowd, I think, was a lot of it. Surprise returns was a lot of it, and people stepping up their game was a lot of it.
I don't know what the rubber chicken thing is. Can you help me out?
They threw Cody at Mania. Somebody threw a rubber chicken, and it landed on Cody in the ring when he was down defeated. And he couldn't get rid of it because he was supposed to be, knocked out or whatever. So he's got this rubber chicken right on his face and his arm for 10 minutes.
I guess I missed that one. But keeping with Cody, we've got someone did a nice custom world heavyweight champ, right? Is that a custom that we're looking at, or is that photography or?
Yeah, it's a custom somebody made. I saw that too. Somebody was posting that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. But it's with the wrong. Was with an AEW feature? So, I guess he hasn't gotten his Elite yet. Elite 101 hitting stores now. Go search. But yeah, kind of the news today. WWE, at least last night, or this morning was they announced the tournament. It will be on Raw and SmackDown for this beautiful. What do you think of the title anyway, Kyle? Let me ask you. What do you think of the World Heavyweight WWE title?
I go back and forth. Of course, I hate change, so I didn't like it. But then it's kind of grown on me a little bit. It kind of has feelings to the big gold. Obviously, that big WWE logo, I'm not a huge fan of, but like a lot of people have said, it makes sense. You have to have that in there. It's all about branding. The big gold belt, as much as I like it, you know what it is, but it doesn't say any federation on it. So you want to make sure. So when they hand this belt, so, the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl, they want that out there for everybody to see. So I get it. So I think it's okay. I guess I'll let it grow on me a little bit more, but I didn't like it at first, but it's definitely grown on me.
What's funny is the people that didn't want to pay $400 and $50 shipping for the Nitro stage are paying $500 for a replica one of these. Make me laugh. LOL. Toxicity. You done it again. But look, it's what do we got? 12. We got 12 there. Raw and SmackDown. But they said it's on Raw and SmackDown, but this belt is for Raw.
Yeah,
so that's kind of confusing, right?
Yeah, they made it confusing. I don't know what they're doing. And then I think Natalya did an interview a couple days ago saying the beauty of they can go to any brand it needs fits. Like they're just burying this whole draft. Like what are they doing?
Because for once I actually believed it. They seemed real serious about this.
They really did. They seemed more serious this time. And then, but even the draft, I was kind of scratching my head a few times. Like, okay, why aren't you picking like the Intercontinental Champion? Like, I feel like in my brain, you should pick the World Champ first. Then you're going to get the Intercontinental Champion or the U.S. Like, you think you get your title people, but then you get like, wasn't the Usos like the 10th pick or something, like your 8th pick or whatever? It just seemed weird to me. I don't know.
The draft's funny. Imagine watching the NFL draft and they're like, with the 26th pick in the NFL draft, the St. Louis Rams select the entire offensive line.
Yeah. Exactly.
Purposely said St. Louis Rams. I live in LA, guys. Don't heckle me. But look, 12 guys. It looks good. Good. Are these all Raw combatants?
I think Edge got moved to SmackDown, didn't he? And Shinsuke.
He did. So yeah, this doesn't make any sense then.
And then I think a few of these guys got moved over. I think
I don't know on who's where. I don't have to.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know what
because I know now too.
What's up?
Theory is SmackDown too, and I think Sheamus.
Okay, yeah.
And AJ SmackDown.
Yeah, that's right. The OC. Yeah, so this is half SmackDown and half Raw, but for the Raw title.
So now then, does that say, okay, any SmackDown guy, you might as well just throw them out of the mix right here? I mean, it's going to be a Raw guy. I don't know.
All right, what do we think about the new packaging soon for the Legends Elites? I like. Is there new packaging for the new Legends Elites? I haven't seen the new packaging.
They showed it Mania weekend, and they showed it like in a dummy Undertaker box is what they dummied up, but. It has the angles kind of, it's still a straight box, kind of like they are now. It's like a rectangle box, but it has lines in the artwork to make it feel like the original Legends line. So, historically for me, I would prefer lines to have the same packaging throughout, like Jack's Classic Superstars, but I get why they have to freshen it up and change it up. So I think they did a good thing. If they're going to have to change it up anyways, I like this look how it is now, but nod to the past as well. So, if they're going to change it, I think they picked a good way to change it, but I would have preferred them not to change it. But I'll take what I can get, I guess.
Imagine being a G.I. Joe classified collector as your number one, and then every week we have a new.
When they announced, so I was a Double Up Club member on Classified. I was getting a loose set and a mint on card set, and then they announced Plastic Free going away, and then the artwork all over the place. I said, you know what? I'm done with the mint on card. I sold everything, and now I'm just a loose collector. Except for my boy Flint. I got Double Up Flint.
At least you didn't double up Falcon. I just bought a head sculpt from the Whoosh's IBMMT on Instagram and eBay. Go check it out. He's selling Falcon head sculpts because I didn't want everyone's doing like Frank Castle and Steve Rogers and they look great. But then to me, as a Marvel Legends collector, I'm like Steve Rogers as Falcon. Or like I'm gonna buy this one that's kind of looks just like the comic. And I like IBMMT does amazing amazing head sculpts. I like supporting independent creators. So we got some comments here. My man Zazel from Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse. What's up, dude? don't forget to hit the like button. We stay tuned. We got a picture of Slaughter at the end of the show because it's
Slaughter.
WWE.
What's a Nemesis
Yep.
Enforcer? That's what the Sergeant Slaughter told me like 8-10 years ago. I said, Sarge, I met Sarge a few times. First time I met him, I said, Sarge, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of yours. I said, I just want a question about your biggest match of all time, the biggest fight you ever had. He's probably thinking Pat Patterson or Hogan or Warrior. I'm like, what was it like to fight Nemesis Enforcer? And he just looked at me deadpan in the face and just said, what's a Nemesis Enforcer? And I was just like, wait a minute, what? And I think he was serious at the time. And I'd have to imagine now he knows, because I know he went back for the movie when it was making the circles. He was seeing it. So he's got to remember a Nemesis Enforcer now. But to this day, whenever I talk Sergeant Slaughter, I always throw in, what's a Nemesis Enforcer?
I didn't know what you were referring to, and I still laughed. It just sounded funny, man. Yeah, exactly. Look. Yeah. And what does that stand for then? It's like I buy my own shit. I don't know what it's his IBMMT stands for something. I forgot, but someone knows. All right. Double up on Slaughter. One for the Joe, one for the wrestling. Always, man. He is the GOAT of Joe and wrestling. All right. So what else? The draft didn't make sense when the first pick was. Yeah, we just talked about that. That's like you know,
the whole defensive line.
I'm gonna take all the backcourt players from Duke with the first pick. We got the money.
Yeah.
You know, we got Shad Khan's money. Let's sign them all. All right, what else we got going on? I love these folks here. We got Pac photos. Imagine being a completist during the Jax WWFE days. Oh my God.
I have a complete Jax Ruthless Aggression collection between all the Adrenaline, Treacherous Trios, the limited edition. I have all that stuff, but I have it loose, so I don't have to worry about that, thankfully. But oof.
This one's a good one. Kyle inspired me to go pick up Macho Man's Be a Man Hogan on CD and record store.
I'm not a big rap guy, obviously. I mean, I'm more of a outlaw country or heavy metal. That's kind of my zones, sure. I know. But that Macho Man album, I love it so much. I love it.
I broke IBMMT as I broke my man thing. That's awesome. Yeah, I hate saying IBMMT. It's just better to say I broke my man thing. Cool. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'm a hip hop dude, but man, I almost wore a Pantera shirt just because you're on. But I was like, Kyle has to be the rock god, not me. I'll stick with wrestling. But I was like, let's do Bash at the Beach WCW since there's no night. Let's get like 2000 WCW with this look.
I almost wore a Horseman shirt, but I said too soon.
Oh, that would have been dope, man. We would have been connected. All right, so let's talk more figs. And while we do this, man, I'm going to take the audience through some slides. Since you've already got Elite 102 rated, unboxed, I'm just opening 100 because I'm a big time guy in the industry. So I'm opening up Elite 100 and some of 101 because I cherry pick. And while I do that, we'll take us through. First of all, I was sold on this set with the box, and we're seeing premium looks at these figures. But defining moments to me, Ringside Collectibles won WrestleMania weekend with this set. Your opinion on defining moments?
Beautiful. I love the defining moments. That's one of those sets. I have a loose set and a mint on card set. Always love these. Glad to see them back. Sounds like it's going to be once a year, and I love stuff like that. Just do it once a year. Don't beat it into the ground every quarter or whatever. Once a year set is the way to go. I love that Ringside made the audible call to open up these packages and sell them solo as well. I think that's a smart move on Ringside's part. If you try to just make everybody buy 4, well, you got Bret Hart completionists that don't want the rest. Well, they're going to pass. So that was a smart move on their part.
Brilliant.
Heck of a lineup here as well. Obviously, all Hall of Famers, and Cody, I would assume, probably a Hall of Famer eventually. I remember when I first saw this one, I thought, why does he come with a snake? That's what I thought. What's that snake in there for? But
that's awesome.
But, that's Cody. It's basically the Cody you just opened up for the most part, just painted differently. But the bruise obviously is the defining moment of the bunch there. I mean, I think that's a classic defining moment, really, for what they're looking for. It can't be beaten. I think it also is one of those ones that maybe Mattel would be scared to put at traditional retail. I'm not offended or grossed out by it. I mean, it is a gory type thing. But, I mean, if I was a kid, I'd be like, oh, give me this immediately. But I think it's a good one.
No, it's great. And if you look closely, and we'll do a full screen, I'm sorry you're gonna miss our beautiful faces for 1 second, but look at that face sculpt, right? And I'm gonna go grab. I just chucked Cody. Terrible segue moods, but here we go. We're gonna bring this back, and I want you to look at that face sculpt or download a Google picture of defining moments. So look at the side of the face, look at that, and then look at this one, right? This one is good, but man, I think this is better. It's improved, right?
Yeah, I
It
think
just
it's
looks exactly like Cody. It's awesome.
a little bit. I mean, that's probably a prototype, so they always look a little bit better. But I don't know if they used a different paint tone or what, because I think it's the same head. I was trying to compare them when I had them in person. I felt like
Yeah.
it was the same head.
Yeah, I think someone did a comparison, and there is a difference there, but it is awesome, and I love that because defining moments, it's easy to just have legends. It's good to mix it up. I mean, Cody is a legend, but he means an active wrestler, so it's good to have it's good to mix it up and not just have attitude era or whatever. So it's good to have a mix there, and having Cody, yeah, immediately this is a memorable thing,
Recent, yeah. It's
the
interesting the
torn
box
pack.
size on these too. It's the box size is basically the same as a normal elite packaging size. So for those wondering that, but
I do. Dreadnought Ryan, the island of misfit toy collectors. The figure is dashing. It is. Good shout out to Ryan. He just interviewed Ben Conway from Skeletron. They talked about Robo Skull updates, which had been updated in months. So that's an exclusive. Go check it out. The island of misfit toy collectors. That's what we do on these live streams. We just promote other people's YouTube channels the whole time because nobody else watches but other YouTubers. So, or else we got Randy Savage rap stint was legendary. He referred to himself as fifth. Oh my God. You're looking for Ja Rule, brother.
it was crazy.
Yep. Once a year, smart. The annual defining
Yeah.
moments. Yep.
That's what people
Yep.
forget. It's funny, and you get the later years. Oh, those were hard to get. No, you can get Sting Bash at the Beach for $7, or Great American Bash for $7 at one
It
time.
looks like Sting. Yeah. There you go. All right. Moving on. Mankind. Now, this is
Oh yeah.
probably overall the most highly regarded of the wave. Go ahead. Take us through Mankind. I don't
I
have a
tell you,
Mankind figure, but
I was a little sad when I saw this one at first because I was really hoping for the Hell in the Cell Ultimate Edition crowdfunder. I was hoping it would be, Taker, Mick Foley Ultimates, and then a Terry Funk stretch goal with Terry Funk removable shoes and John Deere hat with the cell. And then they announced this for defining moments. So I knew that was kind of out of the way, but awesome. I
yeah.
mean that head sculpt next level with the tooth coming through. How cool is that?
Mhm.
We've had a lot of versions of Mankind, actually, not this version though, from the actual match. Ones that look like it, but this is
Mhm.
awesome. This is truly, I think this is the defining moment. I think, like, I asked my dad about matches that are defining from the last 30, 40 years. He'll say this match, so it
No
transcends
kidding.
just normal fan bases.
That's beautiful. Yep. No, it's aces. So can't wait. And Heartbreak Kid, man, that face sculpt. Wow.
I tell you what, out of the four characters here, Michaels is my least favorite of the four. People were taking me to task for that. Well, you like what you like, you don't what you don't. But
Country
Shawn
boy
Michaels,
like you. Come
I
on, you're in Iowa. You get that outfit. It's perfect, man.
it is funny though. Shawn Michaels is my least favorite of the four wrestlers, but my favorite of the four defining moments that are shown here. That's what I was going to. So yeah,
Oh, okay. So
four
it is your favorite
of the
figure
four. Yep,
of
of
the
the
four,
four.
but just you're not a HBK guy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like. I think if I had to put them in order, I'd be a Foley guy, then Brett, then I guess Cody, then probably Shawn. I mean, for whatever reason, I just never connected with Shawn like others did. I was a Brett guy, and then he was gone. And anyways, but I think this is a next level figure. He does got a little bit of kind of like little people syndrome there. He almost looks like a guy from Time Bandits, is what he reminds me of. Because I don't know, with that top thing and the package design with the head, it just gives him a weird kind of look there a little bit. But yeah, I am all in on this one. I think it is the best looking one of the bunch.
All I gotta say about this is Brett screwed Brett. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm a Sean guy, but I mean, how can I not love Brett, Cody, or Foley? I mean, now
Yeah,
especially with all the documentaries they got on A&E, and Peacock, and Vice, which is kind of going down. But there's so much content now to watch all these performers and kind of you watch these guys every day now. I love it. There's
Yeah.
just so much to take in.
I
And
can't
this is,
imagine.
yep.
I say it all the time. I don't know what I would have done as a kid if I had all this wrestling content at the tip of my fingers like you do now. Because when I was a kid, I was wanting to go to the video store every day to rent a VHS tape. Like, give me a VHS. And then watching, I think we were talking about it, watching Main Event and all these CD level wrestling shows. I remember GWF wrestling on.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I said 6:05 tonight, TBS. And there's a mothership. Tonight we got Jumping Jim Brunzell versus DDP in the main event.
Yep.
You gonna be there, brother? Oh man, dude.
I can't imagine having all that at the tip of my fingers now. I don't know what I would do. It
was like what was his name? Is it Ice Train? Am I saying that wrong?
Yeah.
Ice Train versus Michael Wall Street, and we were like excited, making like Swanson dinners in our microwaves, getting pumped up on Hawaiian Punch.
Yep.
We just couldn't wait for that match, and it was like a 2-minute nothing. Yep. And we'll see you next week. But we loved it. We were there every Saturday.
Yep.
Man,
never missed it.
All right, we don't need anything Shane McMahon, so I'm gonna stop reading that. No, I'm kidding. We need a Shane McMahon defining moments from last WrestleMania since I'm focusing on injuries. Okay, now that was a good comment.
That was a rough go for him.
Rented Bash of the Beach 95 multiple times. Dude, Blockbuster, I'd go there and be like, all right, I'm going to get SummerSlam 89, then SummerSlam 90, then SummerSlam 91, then I'm Royal Rumble 89.
Yeah, you know, like pregame before you go to Blockbuster, you'd say, oh, here's my list. If they're out of this one, I'm getting this one. If they're out of that, I'm getting this.
Yep.
That's what I used to do with my Joes back in the day. I'd have a huge list. I'd be like, okay, all right. If they don't have Storm Shadow, I'm going to go to this one. Have a whole
it was like a Target exclusive. It was like a Target exclusive. You had your list, and the scalper grabbed the last one. You'd have to grab the next thing.
Yep.
All right, what else we got? And then Brett. So Brett, I saved the worst for last of the figures, but the best wrestler of the four is Bret Hart. But the worst figure, and it's only worse because we just got an ultimate version of this.
Yeah.
And it's not really necessary, except it's part of the set with the packaging. And if you don't want to pay $35 for an ultimate, I mean, you're still kind of paying $30 for this anyway. But
same.
Go ahead.
So yeah. I like it a whole lot, but not a whole lot of newness here.
But my question is, are you getting the drop down and the butterfly though? Because this is an elite, right?
It's elite, yeah. So you wouldn't have butterfly. You don't got the drop down hips on this one,
right? So you're kind of getting a pink version of an elite. Getting a pink elite version of the ultimate. This is
the one against. I think it's Mania against Piper. I think is what this one's supposed to represent.
They did a great job with the lighting in this picture, but I'm guarantee you it's the same plastic pink sunglasses that we got because it looks like there's some nice coating on there, but I think that's the lighting. I don't think we got that was my only complaint of a otherwise perfect Target figure.
I think this was the cheaper figure. This and Cody were probably the cheapest figures of the bunch to make for this set. They just basically was all reused with different paint apps and stuff for the most part.
Yeah, Cody, you got packed with a lot of stuff, and then we got the bruising and everything. So it definitely was a step up. What do you got? That Bret Hart sculpture still isn't good. You know what? I think the Bret Hart sculpt on the Ultimate is good. Both of them, in my opinion. I don't know. Did you get to review that one? You reviewed that one?
Yeah.
I'll have to go back.
It was all right. I don't know. They just haven't, for whatever reason, they just haven't nailed it. But I forget who said that, but I agree. Jax, I do like the Jax Bret Hart head sculpts. I think they did a good job. I think Jax gets a hard time by a lot of people, and they look at Jax with 2023 eyes. But man, Jax was ahead of their time in a lot of those head sculpts. A lot of them hold up to this day.
That's what's up.
We know what happens.
Moving on, we got The Rock. Oh, you were saying something? Sorry.
Oh no, it was the last comment. Nothing. But this Rock looks very strange to me. I mean, I get the suit. I mean, not the track suit or whatever, but it almost makes him look like a big guy. Like it makes him look, I don't know, like he's wearing a muumuu or something. It just looks strange to me. I don't know.
I got the Elite 100. We got an exclusive here on the show. No one has this yet. So it's the no one has this, just me. It's the I'm kidding, guys. It's like I can't even get the glasses right because I'm such a awesome.
You got the belt upside down, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I did that on purpose so you would say that.
That's right.
But yeah, there you go. Well, that's the thing about Elite 100. just what's your like a 1 or 2 line thought on Elite 100? Because I know my DT was kind of underwhelmed by it. The packaging's good. I do love that you talked about. Was it Schamberger? Was the guy I bought a bunch of shirts from him through WWE, and then they went with help me out
Yeah,
here.
I
Wow,
forget.
I
It's
say this
Bartlett,
name a million. Hartlett, J, yeah.
Bartlett or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Bartlett, Jay Bartlett. I've
Yep.
only said that name 1,000 times at the last presentation last year. But yeah, anyway, so but yeah, this rock is pretty. I hate the glasses, but yeah, anyway, it's pretty cool, man. I mean, a lot of people are buying this jersey, and the Brahma Bull title is where it's at. He's a cool looking figure, but yeah, kind of your thoughts on 100 overall.
I thought it was an awesome idea. I love just like they did with Basic 100 with special packaging. They did the same thing. I
Yeah.
think that was warranted. I think it was a really good idea. I love the set for the most part. It's weird though to me. Like Stunning Steve Austin is one of the most wanted figures for me, but it felt weird to put that into Elite 100 to me. I don't know, and once again it goes back to opinions. It just depends what you prefer and stuff. But I really do think Elite 100 should have been all 100% tippy top guys. Would have been really cool if they could have made Elite 1 into Elite 100. They couldn't do that for rights issues, but all in all, a good set, I think, especially the Andre and everything else.
Kind of looking at it, do you think maybe it's because they needed to, WWE has some say in these figures, right? A lot of people
Yeah.
don't realize that they have to, it's like Hasbro with Disney when it comes to Marvel Legends and especially Star Wars with Lucasfilm I mean, they control it all. So Elite 100, I think it was up to the creators. You would get a Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, whatever.
And I felt like,
Rock.
they said they had to put a female in there. So Becky, for whatever reason, they chose Becky. I mean, they could have went Charlotte. They could have went wherever.
I think Andre was a great choice, though.
Yeah,
right?
I do too. And it was a different Andre for sure. And something we've never had before, which felt special. But I could see some people saying we should have got the best Elite Andre ever of just regular version Andre here. But I still am happy about this. A few things are wrong with this figure, but for the most part, I really do like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. I love it. And then still don't have a chase yet. Someone found one in New Jersey, but I'm sure the shipping would have just made it not even worth having them ship it.
I was in Chicago, just walked in on a Saturday night at 9:00, Saturday night at a Target in Chicago, and the lady was hanging the shipper up, and right in front was a Chase Andre. I was like, geez, what are the odds of that? I'm just traveling in here.
Don't you just love when those things happen, man?
Yeah.
I don't know. So what else we got going on here? Well, yeah, you know what? I didn't give. So here's the controversy with this is that it is the exact same figure as the one I got behind me somewhere, but the outfit is different. Of course, we get the fake Adidas tracksuit. So some people, of course, it's almost like, remember the Target exclusive Cobra Island Cobra Trooper, and then they released the Officer. Well, it's not quite the Target Trooper, so you still have to buy that one on eBay, but then at least you get one. It's kind of like at least you're getting a rock, but you're not quite getting the Grail.
It's crazy for longtime collectors that were with the Ultimate Edition from Series 1. People forget how Series 1 and Series 2 did not sell very well at retail at all. They peg warmed hard. They went to clearance pretty hard. Mm-hmm. And I really thought the Ultimate Edition line was going to be done. And they were so backed up at Target that Amazon, that rock went to Amazon as an exclusive. And then the Charlotte Flair went to Ringside as an exclusive because they couldn't get it out of retail. And then
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then things kind of reset themselves. They cleared through some stuff, but they still struggled. That Finn Balor Triple H set wasn't out there in heavy numbers because Target was just overloaded with Shinsuke's and stuff. So they had a really turbulent start to the Ultimate line, and then it exploded to where it is now. But I think if we all look ourselves in the mirror and know, I mean, if you have patience on an Ultimate Edition, you can find them all on clearance eventually. But yeah, it's an interesting one, this rock. But a lot of people missed it back in the day.
Yeah, I still don't have that Finn. No, go ahead.
The funny thing about that rock one, though, is it's one of the most valuable Ultimates that Amazon won. But it was up for like months on Amazon, and people weren't buying it.
No kidding.
And then people were like 6 months after it finally sold out. They're like, gosh, I wanted that so bad. I'm like, it was literally up for months on Amazon. It's like revisionist histories. People make you want to believe that it was super hard to find. You could never get it, but it was up. People just didn't want it. That's the way it goes.
It's the FOMO, brother. We all get it sometimes, but I think that's That's what it is. Sadly, I'm going to keep recalling this for people joining late. The Nitro ring didn't have enough promo at the end of the day. I'm going to keep talking about it, and I'm not making fun of it. If you were here, we defended the fuck out of it, but I'm just here to just let you know. But yeah, there's Andre. Just man, yeah, this is
Looking.
actually my first Andre the Giant figure since I was a kid.
Wow.
So yeah, thanks
I
Mattel
just
for
I just
throwing me a
filmed
bone
a
here.
top 10 Andre the Giant figures of all time video that'll be on my channel on Thursday.
Look at that segue. We
Yeah.
almost like we planned it. Did I go underneath? No, I got the right. And now look how big this title is, because you know
Yeah.
he's a big boy.
That was
So
his
you got the
special title that was made for him back in the day.
so that Andre you reviewed is gonna have a run through of a blue and a black title. So you might get so,
Yep.
this
Yep.
is the blue one. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A lot of people are saying you got to have both. I don't think I do. I don't. It doesn't make that
Oh,
big
you
of
mean for the title? No,
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely not. You get
Yeah.
one and that's it. That's good.
Yeah. I can live with the blue.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I like blue better. All right, so this line, when I first saw it, was like, oh, I don't need any of those. And now I have FOMO and I need probably all of them. I probably need the DDP, especially now that it's not funded. But that is like WWE DDP when he didn't really do a damn thing.
It's a
But
weird, very
man,
weird set. This set,
yeah,
very strange for a lot of different
very
reasons.
weird. But I am starting to. It's really grown on me in the
Yeah.
last week. And shout out to Fig Heel. He took some awesome side by side photos on his Instagram and kind of doing like a new versus old. So of course the new is on the left. But if you want to just kind of go through these really quickly, if you got any history on these.
Yeah, I mean that Michaels. I mean that was one of the hardest peg warmers. That and the Brett that were I think Kmart exclusive or something. Huge peg warmers back in the day.
Crazy.
But the nice thing is with this, there's a lot of new collectors. That's the hard part when you get a line like Mattel that's been around so long. They made some of the defining figures for these guys, and unless you were a longtime fan, you're gonna have to pay up. So I think it is a smart move here. I don't like it as a longtime fan, but I get the business reasons for it. But just like
Yep.
I think you were saying, I like it. You look at them side by side, you get a little bit better color on the chaps. You of course get the pinless joints now. You get the updated
Yep.
face. So there's enough difference to make it worthwhile, I think.
Absolutely. And you know, a lot of people, even myself, I've been a wrestling fan, hardcore wrestling fan since a little kid. I've watched every federation alive, and I collected Hasbro figures when I was young. What are the Hasbro? You call them retro now, but what were they're just Hasbro WWF figures, right? There's no other name. Is there a name for those? The 3 inch, three and three,
Oh,
like a 4 inch. The
the
ones that do this.
Oh, the Hasbro's?
Yeah, the Hasbro's, but is
Yeah.
there a name? It's just
Oh no.
Hasbro WWF figures, right?
Yeah, just Hasbro. Yeah,
So
WWF. Yep.
yeah, I had all of them, but man, I fell off until they started doing elites. But even then, I'd buy a couple defining moments, a couple, I have like like the Stone Cold defining moments with the 3 titles. I've got Brian Pillman, some of the legends yeah, that's like the old legends like we talked about, like you said, the legends packaging. I really cherry picked it, but for someone who's really diving in, this is a great opportunity to
It
get
is.
some of these figures that like were at Kmart, Toys R Us, whatever, mail in, or that stuff like that. So I do understand value, but I don't think it hurts value overall. What do you think about value in terms of re-releasing some of these figures? Like you still have the original, right? Or
Yeah.
no, does it really, what do you think?
I still got the original and I'll keep my original, but I do understand long-term collectors being pretty upset saying, "Hey, I just got this devalued." But I think we all got to take that step back. If you're investing in action figures for your retirement, you probably should think of something else. I mean, put that money in your 401k, something like that, because Mattel, NECA, McFarlane, whoever, if they see a demand for this Shawn Michaels we're looking at, and they see aftermarket prices going crazy, you don't think they want every dollar out of all of our wallets? They're going to re-release it and get the money themselves. So
Mhm.
nothing is safe. I mean, I
Yep.
guess if for whatever reason, like Chris Benoit figures were worth a fortune, which they're really not. I mean, that it's not going to be re-released, but for the most part, I mean, unless you're talking Hasbro's and the reason Hasbro's and LJNs are worth so much money is because kids played with them. They opened them up. Now
Yeah.
you got a million people. Look at the starting lineups. I mean, my dad was a massive starting lineup collector. We traveled all over to shows and stuff, but
That's
everybody
so
was
cool.
collecting them. So the
Yeah.
bubble burst. So there's going to be very rare circumstances that a lot of this stuff's going to hold big money value.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, I love, I'm a big Shawn Michaels toy collector because like Brett, the face sculpts were brutal for a very, very long time. I mean, look at
Yeah.
the first Ultimate. I still don't even have that one, even though they did a best. They didn't do a best of. They did a re-release with Brock. I still don't have either one of those. And I have almost all the Ultimates because the face sculpt in that first Brett is terrible. But the last 4 or 5 Bretts, unfortunately, a couple were from Walmart, and I don't have them, but they're great. I mean, the last Ultimates with this one and what is the one? Oh, the one with Dominic, the Dominic Build-A-Figure
Oh, build
one.
a figure.
Yeah, the Build-A-Figure. The face sculpts are really aces. We saw in the defining moments, and this face sculpt is really great. And this is also like his best looking, like maybe his clean shaven look, like of all the Shawn Michaels too,
Yeah.
with the new paint, the new paint art on the face
Yep.
as well. So loving it. All right, moving on. King Harley Race. I've
No,
never been I was a big Harley Race guy early, not really during this era, but this is like you just got to get it, right? It's just one of those.
Harley, so growing up in the Midwest,
Yep.
especially the 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it was before Harley retired, he was at so many indie shows I was a part of. I've met Harley Race probably 20 times in my life.
Oh
I've got
wow.
pictures with him. So if you're in the Midwest and stuff, I mean, he is true royalty. I mean, he was at signings all over the place and stuff. So I love some Harley Race. I obviously prefer the old school NWA Harley Race a little bit more than
Same,
King.
yeah.
But and manager Harley Race, I would love to have one to sit next to Vader. I think that would be awesome to have. But
Oh yeah.
we know they needed to put this back out. I mean, I understand why they're doing it. Harley hysteria, and in a lot of ways, that flashback figure started like pre-COVID maniac collectors because people were scared of the next Harley Race situation. And I actually found that flashback Harley Race in stores in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Shout out to Council Bluffs. I was on a business trip and I just strolled into the Walmart thinking nothing of it. There it was, picked it up and moved on with my day. And then about 2 weeks later, we found out it was like the rarest figure of all time. But I truly do wish they would have gave this a cloth robe to put some difference between the two. I don't think it would have upset anybody. I think a lot of people would have preferred a cloth robe anyways. And I think it would be a way to give a point of differentiation between the two. So that's my only gripe here.
Cool. While we're on Kings, I'll share a queen of that. So this, you said it too on this is what I thought when I saw it at the Mattel Toy Fair. The face sculpt is not as bad in person. It doesn't really look like Becky Lynch, but it's way better than the render. So you did say renders look better, but look, in
Yeah.
person, like
It looks like
it's pretty acceptable.
if
I
you
mean,
watch
look,
Star Wars and you watch
yeah.
like the Bad Patch and Clone Wars, she reminds me of Lama Sue, like one of those cloners from like that's what she looks like to me. If anybody gets that reference.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, I hated this figure when I like saw it in like the store or like,
Yeah.
but I'm in hand, I don't hate it, man. I mean, it's fine.
And I
It
felt like
is.
the jacket is so hard to remove too, which is weird. Like lately
It's
they've been
it.
easier to remove.
Yeah,
But I
it's a
do like
cool
the jacket.
jacket, but there's
Yeah.
no, you cannot articulate her at
No.
all with it. It's just she's stuck in a bodysuit, but it's cool. I don't
Yeah.
hate it. It shouldn't be Elite 100, but it's like we said, WWE probably had something to say about that, and
Uh-huh. It's
maybe
a passable
The man Becky Lynch, like that look, like upgraded with everything, that could be an Elite 100. You know what I mean?
100%.
That was
That's
groundbreaking.
that Becky's
Yeah,
a perfect Becky for Elite 103 or 102 or something like that. It would be great, but you're
yeah,
right for 100.
exactly. All right. You know what? Before we move to Seth, what else we got? So let's talk to the people here. Becky with the basic feet. Is the Jax Andre on that list, Kyle?
I did a top 10 Andre, and then the next week after that, I filmed a top 5 worst Andres. And there's Jack's representation on both lists. I'll put it that way.
All right, there we go. If they're focusing on injuries, they should do
Ooh,
Sid from WCW Sin.
that was a
Is that
rough.
he broke his leg? Yeah,
Yeah, that was a rough one.
that's terrible. I missed the personalized title belts like they used to have, Roman. So here's the great thing is that Elite 100 did include personalized title belts like the Brahma Bull, like we showed.
Yeah.
In case you're just tuning in, the Brahma Bull, we got the Cena spinner belt, which I doesn't even spin from what I gather. I'll have to open
They
mine right now.
And it's
and
cool, I
see.
guess, going forward with all the belts too. They're going to have the side plates at least, not quite the same thing, but they're going to have Brock side plates or Roman side
That's
plates, which is a nice touch.
that's what's up too. I don't like the face sculpt on the new older Shawn Michaels. He looks like he's the new older. You mean like the NXT looking one? I don't know. Is that what they mean? The
I
new
don't know.
older? I don't know. New older. Which one?
New.
Tell us. Handsome Harley Race.
Yeah, old school.
I found that Harley at my Walmart like Kyle made a mistake and passed on it. Yeah, but now you're getting it again in the greatest hits. You can pre-order on Ringside Collectibles using code Kyle,
There you
10%
go.
off, baby. Hey, I know. All right, so Seth Rollins. Okay, so Seth Rollins is a guy I didn't give a shit about once he went from Tyler Black to Seth Rollins, except for the Shield. But
Yeah.
he's really grown on me. Maybe it's the new gimmick that is like all his gimmicks in one. He's like, I am the Monday Night Messiah. I'm fire burning. I'm Tyler Black. I'm Seth freaking
Visionary.
Rollins. I'm the visionary, and he's all his gimmicks in one. And he's got a beautiful song, and it works. But his work in the ring, he's carrying people. He really is the workhorse. He's doing great, and he should be the next world heavyweight champ. In my opinion, I think it's the year of Seth Rollins. We got that Ultimate Edition. Again, you can see it. Kyle did a great review. I should be getting mine soon. But what do you think of the cashing in Seth here that we're getting?
So that was a Toys R Us exclusive back in the day. And so this whole line, for the most part, they're old exclusives to Kmart's, Toys R Us's that aren't even in existence anymore. So it gives people another chance to get this kind of stuff. Obviously, you got the updated
Like
stuff.
me.
Yeah, there you go. So I don't mind it. One thing that did irk me, and I talked about it when I reviewed or overviewed what this was upcoming, isn't it weird in the greatest hits how they have it, the briefcase with the money in the bank, like facing in? Like they messed up on the packaging. Hopefully that's just a one off mistake, but I hope they have the money in the bank logo on the outside so you can see it in the window.
Yeah. Are you a guy that wait, you said you sold all your men on card? You're just buying one now forever, or are you still
That
buying
was
one and one?
that was GI Joe Classified. I
GI Joe
never.
Classified. Okay, but do you buy one of each, or you get one of each, or
I just buy one loose. I mean, it's just. I mean, I got 28 Detolfs around me. I mean,
look at this, guys.
it's wild. But if I had a min on
Yeah.
card set, I mean, nobody has room for that. And I have a collector rule. Everybody's got to have rules in their collection. Mine is if I can't put it on display, I don't need it. I'm not going to be one of those guys that has it stored away at a storage unit or something like that, because if you can't see it, you don't get enjoyment out of it. That's how I cut it off for me. So
I'm the same, yeah.
we all got our rules.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm about to not renovate, that's high word, but just move things around in my room because I don't want to be one of those people that needs a bunch of tubs in a closet
Yeah.
or a storage unit or something. Like, I'm like, should I just get rid of a piece of furniture? Because I want to show off this stuff. It's either you sell it or you show it off. That's my
Funny.
rule, man.
I had that conversation with my wife yesterday. I have a massive couch and like an ottoman in front of it in my basement right here off to the side. I'm like, I need to get a smaller couch so I could put another couple of Detolfs bookcases. I'm the only one that comes down here. Nobody else wants to come hang out down here, so I don't care.
Exactly.
I'll sit on a folding chair.
I'm sitting in a gaming chair right now, so it's the
Yeah.
same. What else we got going on here? Hello, Kyle and everyone. Hello, John MVP.
Hello.
You're back. Hello. Okay, next one. So here's the thing. I was like, oh, I don't care for this Undertaker, but then I realized I got the Legends Kane. This is the matching. Is this the matching one, right? From the Legends Kane from Walmart Target? Am I right or wrong?
Not
The tag.
sure. I'm not sure on that. This is the Ministry of Darkness Taker. So when he was, I
Oh,
think
so
this
that
was
wouldn't be with.
crucifying Stephanie. I think so. It's not quite the same. No,
So it's not Brothers of Destruction.
no.
Okay,
This
but it
one,
is. Okay.
yeah, this is Ministry of Darkness.
Ministry of Darkness. You know what? I've already made up my mind. I'm still gonna get it.
I love this.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Undertaker guy, and I
Yeah.
talked about it on my channel how I felt like something was taken away from me in my childhood, because I remember him as Mean Mark Callis first, and then he showed up in Survivor Series. I was like, oh, what's Mean Mark doing? That's weird. Where everybody else on the playground was like, did you see this new Undertaker guy? I'm like, he was in WCW, and none of my friends watched WCW. They only
The
watched WWE.
skyscrapers, man, with
Yeah,
Waylon Mercy.
I loved Mean Mark. So then I was like, I didn't have the reaction all my buddies did. They all loved The Undertaker from the get-go. I couldn't look past Mean Mark. But then full circle, I love this version of Undertaker. I didn't like the real Undertaker debut, but I liked this era of Undertaker. I love the look with the goatee. I thought that looked really good. The different outfit here. I've always loved this figure, and this was a Target exclusive back in the day. I said, I think I did a top 5 on my channel one time about my favorite elite packaging designs of all time, and that Hall of Champions is my favorite packaging design that Mattel has ever done. I love it. I love all the titles in the background there. Just an awesome, awesome packaging style.
Oh, you mean those titles don't come with it? Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
If only.
I'm surprised someone goes, well, this one doesn't come with all the titles that
Yeah.
one did.
Take this back. I don't like how in the new version here, how he's got like the title. It looks like it fell out of the package and just kind of landed on it. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be that way.
That's a good call. Yeah, because it's on the side there. Or at least just put it around his waist somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's almost like in the one with all the titles, there's room to put it just around his waist instead of covering the other one.
But the other one, the greatest hits one, looks weird to me. It looks like it fell out of the package and just kind of landed in his midsection. He's not holding it. It's just kind of floated off to the side. It looks weird.
One thing we got to mention, man, is Elite, and this is your favorite, right?
Yeah,
So of the Elite 100, Elite will come with soft goods, right? So unlike a lot of lines where their main line doesn't come with the soft goods, you got to pay the deluxe price. But this is, you know, a $20, $21, $22 figure, and you're getting the soft goods. And then you got the, unfortunately, why doesn't it say WCW if they own WCW?
Yeah, I don't get that either.
It's a really weird, like, copyright thing when you own it, but you probably still have to pay out royalties, so you don't include it.
Yeah,
some kind of. But man, another figure where I was like, well, it's Steve Austin. I'm going to get it anyway, just for the belt and the cloth. But then you look at the face sculpt. Holy shit, my man! That is greatness in person.
I loved Steve Austin back then. I followed him from the USWA when I was really little into WCW. I was a huge fan. And then the Dangerous Alliance was one of my all-time favorite things when I was a kid. So, and then into the Hollywood Blondes, then into ECW. And then I lost my way with him as the ringmaster in Austin. I was like, I just miss Stunning Steve. I don't know about this Austin thing. It's a weird dynamic.
Oh, man. What else we have going on here? In the Chizat. Oh, here we go. I need that blue Tista.
I was thinking that was like Elite 70, but it was like all the way back to like Elite 33, I think it was. But I love it. That's probably my favorite Batista figure of all time. I love the blue color. I love the glasses, the hat. Just an awesome figure. And it looks like it got updated. Somebody said they removed his bald spot or something on this greatest hits. Like they filled it in. I guess I haven't seen that yet, but somebody said they did.
And another figure where I was like, I put this in order, by the way, of my favorite to last, and it's second to last, but even you're giving me even more FOMO, but I'm like, I was on the fence, but I was like, it's another, I probably just need all these greatest hits. It really is a good one.
And these greatest hits have been pretty hard to find in the stores too. They came on that Walmart shipper, went really quick. Some comic book shops seem to have got them. Ringside obviously got them, but they sold out pretty quick. And like that Rikishi one is like $70 figure, and it's brand new.
Damn, I wish I knew that. All right, we got a question here. So Kyle, Razor Ramon was spoiled for you because you knew him as the Diamond Stud. Come on, Taker buried Mark Callis. They say he arrived at Survivor Series.
Diamond Stud, though, never caught my heart and never stole my heart like a young Rio in WCW. He was there, but he didn't do a whole lot for me. Kind of like Brian Clark before he became Adam Bomb, things like that. Was he Soul Taker, Night Stalker, something like that? Just didn't do anything for me. But then Razor did something for me where, for whatever reason, and I'm in the minority, I know it, but Mean Mark Callis, I loved it. That heart punch was the first time I'd ever heard or seen the heart punch. I was too young for the Ox Baker days, things like that. I loved it. And I love the skyscraper. So then I was disappointed when he became this new Taker. I'm like, and you know him as something. That was a hard one for me to swallow. I mean, I don't know, just weird mentality, I guess.
No. Unlike you, I was a fan of Diamond Stud, Vinny Vegas, all these guys before they became anything.
And Vinny Vegas did nothing for me.
Oz, I didn't give a shit about, but Vinny Vegas, I thought was kind of, I don't know, I thought he was all right.
I remember him and Diamond Dallas Page even back then. They were just kind of there for me. They didn't, make me want to walk across the street to see him or anything.
All right, the random unboxing continues. Elite 101. So I don't just have 100. I have some 101. So here's the thing. I totally agree, man. And we'll look at your screen really quickly.
Same
And
figure.
they go. So yeah, that's the issue we got here, right? Because this is on the box and it's very gimmicky. And if you need a Kevin Owens, you're like, I don't need that one. I'll wait for Kevin Owens. And then I had no idea until I started watching like your reviews and other
Yeah.
reviews that this shirt was part of it. This is way better.
Yep.
This is, don't get me wrong, Austin 316 cloth goods. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But it should have been just like in the wind, like show both. This shirt, like this is the definitive freaking Kevin Owens right here. I'm like, come on.
I bought 2 of this figure so I could display it each way. It's a 2-in-1. I think they should do more stuff like that.
I might have to get 2 because I get a discount at the Mattel store anyways.
Yeah, there you
go. I probably get it for free or $10. But look, I mean, we're getting like, I don't have a Kevin Owens figure and I almost didn't get this. I only got it because it was $10 for me, but I got it. And now I'm like, holy crap, this is like the Kevin Owens I'd always want.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? Like, it's a freaking, and plus, this is like a perfect figure because it comes with another head sculpt, cloth goods, and it's a, again, a regular price.
And like I was thinking about using this on the Stone Cold Steve Austin, I think WrestleMania edition. I have 2 of those to make it different. I can reuse this over there. If you got a basic Stone Cold in your collection, throw this on your basic, turn it elite.
Perfect.
It's a good value.
Perfect. All right, what else we got? Got some other comments here. Wrestling. Black Blood was
there. You go. That's what I was looking for.
I remember Razor as Big Scott Hall tagging with Kurt. Yeah, the AWA.
Yep.
Will we ever get a Val Venus? Hello, ladies.
I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, I'm not offended by it, but maybe somebody is. But I don't know.
I don't know about you, but because of the whole Nitro stage thing for the last week, I've been watching every night. I fall asleep to the Monday Night Wars on Peacock with that like 10 or 11 episodes here. I'm still going through it, but it's so great. So I just watched the one with DX, man. It's awesome. And I love that they didn't hold back because, WWE is very corporate and they changed. They still show everything on Peacock that was from that era, all the like sexual stuff. So good for them for being truthful in their little documentaries. Yeah. What else we got going on here? And the last one, speaking of WCW and Monday Night Wars and all that, WCW, DDP.
This was a head scratcher for a lot of people back in the day when it came out. A year ago or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you remember, this was a Target exclusive Legends line and it was online only. They did not sell this in store.
Because of the pandemic. So that, right?
They were backed up, and they had backed up on some previous Legends in the pandemic. So this and Brutus were sold only online, which was very stressful with that Brutus Beefcake because of the chase dynamic. So you had to order 1 million of them and take them back. So some people did find this in store when they got taken back. And then recently, I don't know if they have any Ollie stores out in the West Coast. They don't even have them in my area.
No, I don't. Maybe West, but not here in LA or California. I don't think.
They're in Missouri is the closest to me. Missouri and Illinois, but they dumped a ton of these to a lot of Ollie stores for like $6. So I see why they're putting it back out there because not everybody could get this DDP, but I feel personally it's too soon, and this would be last on my. If I had to rank them, this is probably last for me as well.
This is exactly last, but you know what? This could have been a political thing. Look who's one of the guys who helped promote the Nitro stage, DDP. He's very close to wrestling. He's just with his yoga and everything, he really is kind of like a guy who is a legend more for what he did after his career. That's not to take away his run in WCW and on Nitro. I mean, he's so important to that. Don't get me wrong. They needed baby faces badly because if you hated Goldberg for being a stiff football player, you had no one else to look to, and you had DDP. So he is a god for that. But
that's why the Nitro stage, DDP is a perfect fit for that Nitro stage. I mean, he is the people WCW guy. I mean, you needed him in there. And
I wanted it so bad. And it was only at 7,000. It was perfect. You got Steiner. I'm going to keep going on it. This is the theme. They gave you Steiner for 5,000. and they gave you threw in Ray, which you didn't want. It comes with it, and they should have shown all the cloth goods on the site. They messed that up, whatever. But to only get 2 more grand
You know,
backers, 2,000 for DDP, which was the next figure everybody else wanted since they didn't want Hogan Warrior, whatever, and not get it. It's like,
well, and one thing
oh,
we didn't talk about earlier too was the whole issue of the international customers not being able to jump. Well, they could have jumped in, but it was a lot more
right.
for them. And I think
$700 or something, right?
700 to 800 to 1,000, and it's a hard one. And I guess
Yeah.
Mattel didn't explain it well enough. And I'm not familiar with the postal rates. Like, I'm by no means an expert, but people are saying, well, they should have just given it to us for free, like America. Well, I get saying that, but it's obviously more expensive to send something from California to Honduras than it is California to Vegas. I mean, it's going to cost a lot more. And last time it sounded like Mattel ate a lot of that cost. They like didn't do their math right or whatever, and they ended up eating all that and paying all that, which obviously hurt the return on the investment. And this time they said you got to pay the actual shipping cost. Well,
Right.
then I brought up the thing too, which got some people mad though, is okay, well, you give a discount to somebody in Honduras or the UK, they get it cheaper shipped to them. Well, what about me? Can't I get it cheaper too? I know I'm
What
only,
about me? What about Raven?
yeah, I mean, that's where does it end? How come they get the price break? You like
Right.
those people more? I mean, you really can't win any
No.
way you go with that. So, and I do think if they could have cleared that up, I think you could have probably got 1,000 more people
Right.
very easily. But
Yeah.
then it would have had to been a more expensive set if they did it like last time. So then we're all paying for it. So I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yep. I'm like over here. Look, he's like hanging by John Cena's getting hung by Mattel for being a bad boy. You didn't see this anyway. So, but yeah, DDP. All right, what else we got going on? And there it is. I think this brings
Yep.
us to almost the end of our show. But like I mentioned, Sarge, we always got to mention GI Joe on a toy kind of mood, whether it's at or during the day. But man, this is a great photo. I've apologized to the person who took this photo, but I had to post it because it blends the two worlds that I love the most together, and I am going to copy that if I
I'm
can.
I'm glad Sarge and Hogan could put their differences aside and join back up.
Anything for Team America, man.
That's right. That's right. I
But
get
dude, this was such a blast. You know what? Before we go, we do have a few questions. It seems like the longer these shows go, the more people join on. But we eventually, I do want to let you. You're on the East Coast time. Is that what you're
Central.
on? Central. There you go. So what time is it? 1 hour.
10 o'clock.
It's 2 hour difference. Here we go. All right. It is 8 o'clock here. So we already got that question. We already. Oh, they should have put in the greatest hits line, Bret Hart defining moments instead of DDP. But I'm confused, but they're doing defining moment. Oh, do you mean with the one with like the Canadian flag and everything?
They're
They should
doing
have just did that. Yeah,
they're doing that as a future Ultimate Edition, is what they said. So you're going to get that
right.
defining moment redone as an Ultimate with the flag. It sounds like.
We are with Roddy Piper as the WCW Roddy Piper. Yeah, where that's a Walmart
Yeah, there you
Monday
go.
Night
Yeah, they're
Wars Ultimate.
yeah.
Yep. So
Yep.
we are getting that. No Val Venus due to him being a tinfoil hat conspiracy believer.
Hey, me and
W-
Jesse, that's one of the jokes on my channel lately. Is I have all these conspiracy theories, very tongue in cheek, but I put up the Jesse Ventura videos and stuff. I love that kind of stuff.
yeah. And then here's the other question. It's already leaked. That it's not they didn't say ultimate or anything, but the funny thing is you got like Pat McAfee basic. It seems like first they go basic, then they go elite, then they go ultimate, but then we got Logan right to ultimate. So
I don't
I
know
don't
if
know if
Logan.
it's
I
yeah,
felt like Logan. They were scared at what could he do at retail, so they went the ultimate made to order design mode,
right.
and I feel like maybe Bad Bunny. They feel like there's more of a following. Maybe I don't know, but I personally would have liked to seen them do the same. Bad Bunny should have been done by like Logan Paul. To me, that's what I would. I don't want him in the elite line. Do a one-off separate one is what I'd say.
So here's where I'm gonna disagree. So Logan Paul Logan Paul is a kind of a viral YouTube guy where Bad Bunny is like a headliner at the
Yeah,
Grammys, and so he soars past Logan Paul.
for sure.
Even in Logan Paul is one of the most popular people on the internet, but Bad Bunny's one of the most popular people in the world.
Yep.
and the guy headlining Coachella or just doing like some viral thing on, I don't know. It
I
seems
mean,
like a different world. And I think if he's very close to kids, this is a good way to get young people. Like they might not collect anybody else, but I think a
I don't like
Walmart,
the
Target,
precedent. I mean,
huh?
I don't like the precedent of it. I want wrestling figures in my wrestling line. Send it as a special one-off is how I want it. But they've done it with
Right,
Rob Gronkowski, so they had him in the elite line, which I didn't care for either. But like even Mr. T, he hasn't been in a regular elite line. He was always in special stuff, exclusives and things like
right.
that. So I don't know.
Um,
Obviously,
I
it's
think
trying to crossover with Bad Bunny.
right, and I think you know, at the end of the day, big companies don't. Their first thought is not us because
No, for sure.
We're evergreen. We're there. We're always gonna buy money. We're always gonna buy our figures. We're hardcore collectors. Whether I'm quitting the line. Yeah, you're gonna sell your toys, and 3 years later, you're gonna buy them all back. Shut up. They know it.
Yep.
So their goal at the end of the day is to expand to make as much money as possible. If they
Yep.
just sell to you, they're not making as much money as possible. But they sell to some 13-year-old girl in wherever in the Midwest, wherever they're reaching for the stars. And so Bad Bunny is such an and Snoop or whoever, these WrestleMania people that are musicians that are, I see Bad Bunny as a more popular than Rob Gronkowski, Logan Paul.
Because
Um,
Gronkowski was an eternal peg warmer and really bad. I mean, you can
and
get for like
now,
$12 on Amazon. It's not quite the same
right.
thing, but he's still a celebrity. But
Yeah, he is, but I just think this Bad Bunny guy's on another level from what I hear. And I don't
yeah,
like again, I don't listen to pop music.
me
I don't
neither.
know, but looking at the numbers and looking at, yeah, I mean, this guy is the real deal. I mean, he's kind of like, I guess we would know Drake better because we're older, but imagine someone who's more popular than Drake having a wrestling figure on the or action figure on the shelf. I don't know, man. Or even like I don't know, I guess Metallica. I'm trying to find an analogy for Bad Bunny that would
I don't know.
help us understand his popularity because we're in this age bracket that does not get it.
Yeah,
But I really think Bad Bunny is an opportunity to throw figures on the shelves and really take advantage of it. Like hardcore people might pass it, but it's
I
a
just
good
wonder who would know.
opportunity.
Like that, my daughter, who's 12 years old, that knows Bad Bunny. Like, I don't think she would go to the boys wrestling section to look for the figure. She wouldn't even know it existed in the first place.
Right.
So I almost feel
And
like
then
Bad Bunny, you get
unfortunately,
here's a
yeah.
month-long pre-order, here's a deluxe package. He puts it on his site. Everybody that wants to order it for a month
Okay.
can get it. I think
He puts it
that's
on
what
Bad
Logan
Bunny
Paul.
site? He said
What?
Bad Bunny site?
I'm
He
sure he's
puts it
got
on,
Facebook and TikTok. He's
right.
probably
His social media. Okay.
he'll
Yeah, if
promote it
he
on
does
there.
yeah.
He'll
Okay.
direct his people. I don't know, but he could do
Okay.
the same thing. Go to your local Walmart and get my
All
figure,
right.
but we know how that goes. I mean, you rarely see figures at Walmart and stuff. I mean, you see the top
Oh
picks,
God,
you
if Bad
see.
Bunny was at Target and Walmart, every scalper in America is gonna clean the shelves. So
That's
you
what I
heard it
think.
first, Mattel.
I
Yeah.
would think Mattel would say, "Hey, we're going to charge $40 for the Ultimate Bad Bunny. It's going to be a month order, pre-order, and Bad Bunny's going to put it on social media. WWE will. I don't know. Going to put the
Oh,
bunny
here's the
ears on
thing.
with Bad Bunny.
Here's the thing about Bad Bunny. I don't know if I should even say this. No one cares. All right. He may be able to waive those fees though, because he loves WWE so much and he's so tied in. This is a special thing, I think. This is because he's kind of like he's somewhat on the roster. You know what I mean? In a way, like he's kind of like Dennis Rodman. Like,
A
I don't
little,
know.
you
He's
know.
not just appearing at WrestleMania. He's kind of tied in my opinion. I don't
Where
know.
does he go from here? I mean,
Yeah,
that's the thing.
that's important. That's important. That's important. Yeah. I think that's the thing. All right, guys. I think we had enough. We really rounded up. But before we go, Kyle, I gotta say thank you, man. This is one of my favorite shows ever. It was tremendous. You're a good dude, and here's where you can find this guy. If you're not already subscribed, I'm sure you are. He's got 8 million more followers than Bad Bunny. So and he does 8 million more music videos a day. No, but he's the hardest working guy in action
I do.
figures. He's got a
I
good weekly. Yeah,
I film my videos. As everybody says, how do you film so much content? And I
yeah.
honestly, I work 60 hours a week at my shoot job, as they say. But Sundays are my day for videos. I film probably 99% of my content outside of my weekly thing. I film it on Sunday. I get up extremely early and I film till my voice gives out, and then I edit through the night for the week, and then I put them on Patreon, and then schedule them out and do that. So it's quite the operation.
It's unbelievable. And then you go deeper, and we went pretty deep in the Nitro stage stuff, but you go even deeper. He's got a almost an hour-long video there, and he's got a great weekly. And
vomit-inducing levels.
What was that?
To vomit-inducing levels of a deep dive into it.
Exactly. And then Ryan, my boy, he loves seeing you on Dave Wonder.
Yeah. My old buddy Dave, I always hit him up when we go grab pizzas up in Minnesota.
And you can also follow the Kyle Peterson on Instagram with underscores in there. And it's just all around good content. You're all around good dude. And man, I came out with a toy kind of mood at night, and I said, nobody's doing this. Well, Kyle has been doing it for years, and he's still gonna appear. This is like David Letterman and Jay Leno, except
there you go.
There you go. Except I'm new cat on the block. But anyway, Kyle, I can't thank you enough for being on the show. It was awesome talking figures. We absolutely have to do this again. I wouldn't mind spending another Sunday night with you, my friend.
Yeah, just let me know.
All right, just give me another Too Sweet and a rock on, baby.
There you go.
All right,
Ronnie James Dio.
Hey, you got it, dude. Always and forever. All right, Ronnie James Dio. For Travis Moody, for Kyle Peterson, it has been a toy kind of mood at night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the Wrestling Collector Toy Aisle next to all the scalpers. See ya.
See ya.